All right, Somber, how you doing?
Chilling, sending some invites out.
Are you ready to rehash the Doty story for the 18th time, sir?
Just do it again, right? Let's just rub it in our own faces. I like the UK guy. That guy's funny. He's getting all. He runs a good little thing on his live or whatever. It's pretty decent.
I do think all these little weirdo actions have to kind of be looked at and kind of like, in a short period of time, we got that Lou photo, this weird Doty Elizondo interaction, and then now this latest thing where Mellon, Grush, and Elizondo are all sick the day of the SCIF briefing that they've been wanting for fucking years. And even Luna is now like calling them out publicly and shit like that. Like, I don't know. What do you think happened with this SCIF thing? And then Tuba said he's going to hop in here. So I wanted to do a little isolated. Probably going to keep this pretty short too on this. But of course, we'll have to redo the Doty thing with Tupa, of course. But yeah, what do you think happened here, Somber? Why did they all get sick or no? Is that a lie? And if so, why are they lying?
So what month? This was last month, right? They would have all been sick and getting over.
No, I think this is like last week or something. Or like this week.
Yeah. I mean, everyone was sick, so it's going to be hard for me to argue with that. There was a bunch of like viral shit going on. Everyone was all sick and had COVID and all kinds of weird flus. So if they all hang out, did they all get sick at the worst possible time? I don't know. Who the fuck knows? How do you know? It's a really weird time, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go pull up the I'll pull up this audio for us real quick. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it's kind of weird. Don't harp on it too long. But then also, I don't know. Luna just sounds like she's getting tired of these guys, which is like, I don't know. I just like, and I'm honestly like, it's funny. I'm not even really trying to stir shit, but it's like this SCIF has the SCIF not been hyped up for like years now at this point? Like getting to this point, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just tired of hearing about it. Just do it.
And then, yeah, I fucking hate the word SCIF at this point. And then after like 3-4 years of pre-build-up and edging for the SCIF, they're all gone on the day it's supposed to happen. Like, I just think that's fucking weird, dude. And I'm open to even it being some fucking weird, maybe NHI intervention or something. Who knows? But like, I don't know. Weird that these guys weren't there.
Why do we hype up medians and SCIFs? If it doesn't bring any results, it's not shit. You know what I mean? There's always this like, oh, they're going to get in the SCIF. They were in a SCIF. We're going to hear about the SCIF. They're going to tell us about a SCIF. It's just stupid. It's more of the same hype. Using the same lingo makes people feel like insiders. If it doesn't produce anything, it doesn't fucking matter, right? There's guys meeting in SCIFs every day.
Yeah, just yeah, I still don't know what to make of it, to be honest. It's all weird. I'm down to hear got some more speakers coming up. I'm down to hear like them out, but like they didn't even say anything. I didn't even see any of them say anything. Oh, we got UFO Shane here. Thank God. Voice of reason.
Shows arrived, folks. Have no fear. The walrus is here.
And we got Gage Rock. Cool. This is a meme Moran Lerner made in 2023. It's 2 years ago. A little relevant. Let's see.
Names and titles of the people with direct firsthand knowledge and access to some of these crash retrieval programs, and maybe which facilities, military bases the recovered material would be in.
I can't discuss that publicly, but I did provide that information both to the intel committees and the inspector general.
And we could get that in the SCIF if we were allowed to get in a SCIF with you. Would that be probably what you would think?
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Could receive some of that information. Those questions that Grush was being asked, we actually wanted to talk to him prior, and again, we were denied access to that.
We were denied access to a SCIF so we could get this information. Once again, another roadblock put up.
News Nation has learned that you and your colleagues will be able to get into the classified SCIF room to look at the UAP documents you've been trying to.
He said in some of his answers, I cannot tell you in this setting. So what he's saying is we have to go to the SCIF. And we could get that in the SCIF if we were allowed to get in a SCIF.
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Real information, just put it in the SCIF. It's just, we have to get him in the SCIF so he can tell us that stuff.
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Oh, and then the meme goes into it's actually Greer at the bottom of the surf. Moran Lerner's a low-key fucking prophet with that one. But the point being that 2 years ago, all those news clips existed to where it was like already a played out meme 2 years ago, this fucking SCIF. And then now it finally happens and they're not there, bro. Like, are you kidding me? Like I'm with Somber. I
Again.
hate the word skiff now. Like I hate it. I've heard it too much. Like it's so fucking annoying.
It's weird watching people get explained it for like the 50th time, like it's new. Like people hold these spaces where they're like, let's go over what a skiff and clearance is for the fucking 1000th time, and all pretend like we don't know what it means. That's what I just can't stand anymore. I just can't stand laying it out like it's some tutorial that we haven't fucking been hearing for 5 fucking years, especially if you've been here. It's like, I just don't get it. It's all just like part of the hook. Make you feel like you're some fucking insider, like you know about clearance and all that. And it's just like, by this time, how many times have we heard this shit? They've explained a SCIF clearance, like science, but all these guys, they have to explain it over and over. Like the retention level in this community is like 2 weeks.
Now that part's like whatever. But I did the news of today though is I don't remember a time where they ever all three got sick on the same day all of a sudden, and then also missed this bullshit skiff that we've been waiting on for like 5 years.
What was the excuse last time? He thought it was a trap to meet with the guy from the office that they created. It was a trap. They were trying to trap Grush. You know, I don't know. I can't keep up with the excuses at this point.
Yeah, and real quick, let me just play this too. So this is the shit that broke today.
And now, here's our latest Ask a Poll exclusive from your U.S. Capitol.
Hey, how'd it go, Madam Chair? So I heard we're going to get a JFK hearing on the 20th.
We have some great witnesses, and also Ogie and I have covered 6 boxes of the Joe Needy files, so that should be it.
When do you think we'll get a UAP hearing?
We actually have one being noticed currently, so you guys will see all that information coming out.
What happened with this week's hearing?
Well, we have 2 SCIF briefings this week, and
Yeah.
by the way, Melon got sick, Elizondo got sick,
Yeah.
and Mr. Grush also is not feeling well, but Grush has been very helpful.
Yeah.
So my message is, we got the SCIF, you guys need to be here for the SCIF briefing.
Yep.
Thanks.
Awesome. Appreciate you, ma'am. Cool. I'm going, ma'am.
U.S. Capitol.
How many showed up?
We had 3 in there, but 3 of our main ones were sick, so we're gonna get them back on the books and see if they show up. They had SCIF flu.
Damn, they had SCIF flu. Jeez, god damn.
How was FBI?
Amazing. It was 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You could just, I
Give you
literally.
more direction.
Hey, I was going to tell them in regards to our FBI SCIF interview, 10 out of 10 makes us reconsider Arrow.
You guys need to meet this guy.
Yeah, he's great.
making the
Actually, we're going to get a couple of books, but yeah, he's great.
So I don't know. I personally think she doesn't even believe them. The fact that she made that little SCIF flu joke, and the fact that she felt the need to personally call them, like, my personal message to you: we got you the SCIF. You need to be here. Somber, you believe they actually did get sick, though, right? So we got some equal representation up here on the panel.
No, I'm saying they could say that, and how do I know? Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those stupid things. I'm not going to sit here and be like they didn't, you know. Of course, that's very convenient, given the pattern of just shit. Is it bad luck? I don't know at this point. There's an excuse for every weird thing that happens, and then some cope to go along with it. They're just like, I don't know. If they're sick, they can do it again, right? They can reschedule something like that.
Shout out to Moran Lerner for having that meme ready to go, because that's actually pretty useful. Because like I said, the shit they've been hyping up this SCIF for, it feels like goddamn 5 years. Like I feel like if somebody had a kid when the SCIF was first talked about and hyped up in this fucking disclosure thing, that kid would already be in like kindergarten, and then they're not there.
Yeah, that's the story of Grush. Unfortunately, I don't know. It's weird they all decided to skip at this one. Maybe they all took one for their team, but it just doesn't look good for Grush. Missing mediums is not something he should be doing at this point, right? Which is, I don't understand. They can't do like a reschedule, right? They're out of events right now. So
And this is like Grush's 11th missed meeting weirdo bullshit, you know?
That's what I mean.
I like Grush, dude.
It's like if you were at school
He's
and
chill.
like every time you had a test, you were just like, I'm fucking sick today. Like it's like child shit. Like this wouldn't pass in an elementary school, dude. It would be like, you're sick every time you have to take a test. Why aren't you there, Mr. Grush? Like it's just like basic fundamentals of life. I don't know. Maybe he's got the shittiest luck. Maybe the Russians are poisoning him. I don't know. Like they were saying, you could throw infinite possibilities out there, dude. That's how all this shit is. The most obvious is what it is, though. Like you keep saying, Convenient, folks. He doesn't show up for another meeting. I don't know.
Gage Rock, I had you up here and then you dropped down. He keeps on requesting. I'm trying to get you up. I don't know if it's like glitch on your end or mine. And I want to get UFO Shane up here.
We have to get hearts in the chat.
Because Shane always calls it, and he
To
called
bring
it
the energy
yet
level up.
again.
And he needs a 12-pack of steel reserves in his fucking cash app right now. All right, we're gonna get him up here.
Gage Rock, are you there? Nope, drop down again. Shane, UFO Shane, are you there? He threw us with the 100. Hell yeah. Mazing's got some thoughts. Who's gonna have some thoughts in here? Tupa said he was ready. That's why I did it. This guy. I'm joining the hate group. All right, what's up, Shane?
Nothing much, man. Got home making dinner. What's going on? Oh, the skip thing, dude. He ain't got the. Oh my god.
He got sick, bro. Melon, Grush, and Elizondo all got
God
sick
damn the
right
fucking
before
ass flu. They all got
big
the ass flu.
5-year-long edging worth of SCIF hype, dude.
Yeah, they all had too much fun at that dumbass alien convention where Elizondo got paid $15,000.
To meet with thousands of fans.
Yeah, and literally they're like, "Oh, we had such a great time." They're all like happy, like, "Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. You all got paid like $10,000. Y'all got paid 10 bands to fucking run around the fucking street, waving like fucking alien shit around. Like, really doing a good job figuring out what the paranormal is, you dickheads."
That is true because like they were sick 2 days ago, and now they're in Oregon, partying it up with thousands of fans. Like, is Lou a super spreader right now, dude?
Dude, well, first of all, they are running around spreading the fucking what is it? The fucking shit from Skinwalker Ranch, the hitchhiker effect. But that being said, like, yeah, I mean, they're like, "Oh, God, man, we were gonna go to Washington and just really hook all these people up with this sweet fucking UFO knowledge." But I got this fucking cold, and COVID was a few years ago. I voted for Kamala Harris, so I'm gonna need to get a mask, 6-7 masks, maybe get a booster before we get up there to Washington. Yeah, I think we'll just go to this alien convention and make $10,000 a piece. Yeah, but it's probably better. Yeah, okay. That's exactly how it went.
What are they running from? Why wouldn't like it? It's I honestly think it's like weird because it
They're
always
running
seems
from the truth. They're running from their own reality of being useless, dipshit, lying assholes who've done nothing. Literally, they haven't done anything. There's nothing. I've asked tons of people. I'm like, just show me evidence. Show me anything that isn't anecdotal. That isn't like a faith-based belief system. Just fucking anything. And they just link me the most dumb shit. And it's there. This stuff exists. Paranormal's real. But we just have these dumbasses running around milking everybody like they're fucking cattle. So we're never gonna get anywhere. Fuck these people.
it's confusing though because it's like on the outside they portray it and make it seem like they want it, right? Like, why even go through all this bullshit and dance and hoopla?
For the
what I mean?
money.
Just to make money. Yeah, maybe that's on. Gage Rock. Finally, I could hear. Oh, what the fuck? You could hear crickets, and then he drops down again.
He's outside smoking a blunt in the Appalachian Mountains or something. I don't know.
Is that why there's so many stoners in fucking UFO land? Because everyone sees UFOs when they're smoking. It's like higher predisposition. Or
No
whatever.
one smokes with the UFO.
Fuck, somebody hit me up for a Tupify fucking profile pic, and I forgot who it was, and I feel bad. Yeah, I don't know, Shane. This is just weird, man. Also, I don't know if you knew the FBI was there. I wonder if that had something to do with it. You know what I mean? Like, did they feel like they were being set up? You know what I mean? That's what people were saying. That's what people were saying in outer space, Shane.
We're journalists, and they're all getting fucking arrested for national security.
No, UFO Shane, that was the cope in Astrospace was like, oh no, like Grush is smart. He wised up. He probably like didn't trust someone there. Like that's the cope. Like it's a good thing that they all bailed.
That is actually the definition of cope. That is literally what coping is. It's where you make up a scenario that sounds good in your head so that you can ease on through the shit that's giving you inner turmoil. And unfortunately, it's not doing it. These dudes are fucking liars. Like, literally, it's like what you just said. Like, you've been building this shit up for years. Like, all of us have just horrible diarrhea. We just, oh, God, we can't do it. Luna's even spraying the walls. What are we going to do? Yeah, I don't know. It's fucking people.
Oh, we got Chupacabra here. Yeah, Luna's fucking annoyed with these guys, it seems like.
I would be too, though.
I would be too, dude. It takes fucking time and political capital and movement and all kinds of bullshit to get this shit going. And these guys, like, again, have literally been hyping it up. Once we get Tuba up here, I'll play the Moran Lerner meme again, but I did put it up in the nest. And it is pretty funny because at the end of it, after all the bullshit, it was just Stephen Greer in the bottom of the skiff the whole time. And it's kind of like what's happened, right? Everyone's fucking left-handed gay psionic now.
Dude, yeah, man, I guess. You know, that dude that
Moran Lerner's tapped into the Akashic record, bro. I'm just saying.
The Akashic record. Well, shit, I can't hang out too long, bro. I'm making dinner and I'm going to bed, but I thought I'd drop in since they sent me the link. But yeah, these people are retards, so don't worry about them. Like, I mean, if you still put your chips in this basket, that's your own fault at this point. I can't feel sorry for you. I've done everything I could do. We've all done. Everyone who sits in these spaces knows. Like, it's just like, you know, you can't help everybody all the fucking time.
And let me catch Tuba up. God bless you, Shane. Stay as long as you can. But here's the meme from Moran Lerner Tuba from 2 years ago, just to get everyone to remember like how hyped this skip has been for years.
Congressman Burchett finally enters a skiff.
The names and titles of the people with direct firsthand knowledge and access to some of these crash retrieval programs, and maybe which facilities, military bases the recovered material would be in.
I can't discuss that publicly, but I did provide that information both to the intel committees and the inspector general.
And we could get that in the SCIF if we were allowed to get in a SCIF with you. Would that be probably what you would think?
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Could receive some of that information. Those questions that Gresh was being asked, we actually wanted to talk to him prior, and again, we were denied access to that.
You know, we were denied access to a SCIF so we could get this information. Once again, another roadblock put up.
News Nation has learned that you and your colleagues will be able to get into the classified SCIF room to look at the UAP documents you've been trying to.
He said in some of his answers, I cannot tell you in this setting. So what he's saying is we have to go to the SCIF. And we could get that in the SCIF if we were allowed to get in a SCIF.
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Real information, just put it in the SCIF. It's just, we have to get him in the SCIF so he can tell us that stuff.
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
If you face that, you're not going to be afraid of death. And so I have sort of I got the spirit warrior mindset where I'm just not afraid of
All right, so after years of hype, this is what happened today, Tupa.
And now, here's our latest Ask a Poll exclusive from your U.S. Capitol.
Hey, how'd it go, Madam Chair? So I heard we're going to get a JFK hearing on the 20th.
We have some great witnesses, and also Ogie and I uncovered 6 boxes of the Joe Nene's files, so that could be it.
When do you think we'll get a UAP hearing?
We actually have one being noticed currently, so you guys will see all that information coming out.
What happened with this week's hearing?
Well, we have 2 SCIF briefings this week, and by the way, Melon got sick, Elizondo got sick, and Mr. Gresh also is not feeling well, but Gresh has been very helpful. So my message is, we got the SCIF. You guys need to be here for the SCIF briefing. Thanks.
Awesome. Appreciate you, ma'am. Ask a Poll exclusive.
Just a quick reminder, your U.S. Capitol.
How many showed up?
We had 3 in there, but 3 of our main ones were sick. So we're going to get it back on the books and see if they show up. They had SCIF flu.
How was FBI?
Amazing. It was 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You could just, I literally.
More direction.
Hey, I was going to tell them in regards to our FBI SCIF interview, 10 out of 10 makes us reconsider Arrow.
You guys need to meet this guy.
Yeah, he's great.
Tuba, can you keep it real with me? I feel like in the other space, I'm either going crazy or I'm just a cynical bastard. No one thought it was weird. No, they did. They kind of did. But they were making an excuse for it. Like, oh, maybe they actually got sick. Maybe they scoped out and something was sketched, which actually I think maybe is true. But what do you think of this, Tupa? You remember all the SCIF hype and edging that's been going on for the past, 5 years plus, right?
Oh, yeah. These fools are they're full of shit. They're full of shit. And there's something that they know that we don't know, and they're happily keeping us in the no information zone. So, and then they're letting these lies spread too about why is it stopping? Why aren't they showing up?
Yeah, right. It's one thing for them to not all be there, and then it's another thing to actively lie about, we're all sick, right?
Yes.
It's very weird.
Yeah, it reminds me of the vacation of Chris Mellon, right? That he couldn't reschedule. Something's wrong, man.
And I was telling Shane though, but it's weird because why even go through all the dances and hoopla and edging about this skiff and then not be there? Like, did something change in their plan? Are they afraid of the FBI there? You know what I mean? Were they sketched out? Like, I legitimately don't know. Like, this is your moment to prove Arrow wrong in front of like the Congress people. And again, that meme, Tupa, is Moran learning how to low key profit with that meme, dude? That
He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's
2
doing.
years ago, all the skiff hype, and after, and there's even a part where it says sometime in the distant future, and it was just Greer underneath. Spirit warrior mindset, psionic, gay. What do you think, Gage Rock? You're up here now.
Yeah, sorry about the connectivity issues. I was in the gym at the pool area. That's probably why. Yeah. So a couple things. Yeah, you're right. I specifically remember when they were talking about the skit because I was watching it live. I was at Taco Bell. But yeah, that was a couple years ago. So there's another thing. They could just be pushing it, and they're all playing games, or like if you don't want to believe them, there's always like the Havana syndrome thing. Like somebody has to.
That's what I was thinking too. Maybe some kind of state actor, and there's some kind of weird audio thing in your background. It sounds like we could hear you, but there's like this really weird, reoccurring, like it sounds almost like a demon roaring. But just FYI, probably someone lifting weights. But yeah, I was open to that. Like it's if there's this real secret and there's fucking this weirdo group, maybe they all did get Havana syndrome right before. Tuba, is that on the table at all?
You have to forgive me. I'm at a very noisy place. I'll be out here soon. So I didn't catch the last part. 5 minutes.
5 minutes, okay. And then we're also Tuba. Yeah, I'll go for. Oh, you sound good now, Gage.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm outside, but I'm about to be somewhere quiet. But yeah, another thing is, I'm not a professional. I work in a lot of like retail and restaurants. And anytime there's like a big day that's coming, there's a big day. Remember, we've got a big sale, right? People call in. People don't show up all the time. It's guaranteed.
Yeah, it feels weird, man. It feels. Thinking about what I'd asked people earlier, like, did they plan for this? Because I'm really stuck on it. Because it's like literally like, why go through the effort and then not show up? Like, this is what you guys like have been saying you wanted. Like, I really don't get it. I'm at a loss. And Shane said it's all for the money, maybe. But I feel like there's other ways to make money. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's like there's a lot of ways to make money other than like grifting UFO people and like edging skiffs. You know what I mean? I don't know. Spam speaker invites to people. Let's go. Let's party. Oh, we got Guy up here. Hell yeah, Guy's gonna be down. Guy, are you there? Guy, am I crazy? Am I crazy to think that there's something sketch with this skiff? With all three of these guys missing the skiff briefing after edging it in the community for like 5 years about it?
No, not at all, man. Not at all. And it's got something to do. It's got something to do with the with the man above it. It's like there's things that they've not even been brought out. It's like I could tell people about the 2012 arc that Bigelow was building with fucking that he proposed to Congress and had a big binder full of it and that was for 5,000 people. And, you know what I mean? It's like things like this are missed out on. But like these guys, that they've all been working under him. Everybody who has gone to Congress has worked directly for Bigelow, and there's an NDA in place that he's got, and there's things that they can't say because it's still tied to that NDA, and that's what I reckon is covering it. But yeah, it's sketch, man, and like I say, the craziness that's coming out of it, and
I'd argue they work for Pudov. I feel like it's Pudov's the big dog, and I feel like Bigelow is just one in the long line of financial backers who was able to get to like fund his Scientology offshoot religion.
The thing is when Bigelow went to when Bigelow broke off from the UFO working group, the three parties, the Air Force, the Air Force, the Navy, and CIA, the DIA. He broke off to form NIDS, and he initially went to Jacques Vallée to be the director, and Jacques Vallée turned it down. And a week later, he'd approached Harold Poff, and Harold Poff became the director of NIDS, and I mean, he's way more than a backer. Way more. I don't know if you looked at it, that question I sent you yesterday. That was in 1992. He funded the Roper survey for with the on the Bigelow Foundation, which drops a load of questions in, and that one question. I don't know if you got it. That there were like one question.
Did you send me? Well, there's a video too. I feel like I just recently watched a video from like the 90s about the Roper poll. I feel like the vibe gave me the vibe of like an old sightings episode that was talking about the Roper poll. Did you send me that? Or maybe do you know what I'm talking about? That'd be cool to listen to together here.
It might have been. I'll have to double check, but it was 1992. And that's
right in the sightings time frame. I'm pretty sure the Roper poll was featured in the sightings episode. That'd be cool to find. I'll look for that. But I don't see what exactly, because you do send me a lot of stuff, which I do appreciate it all. Keep it coming. What are we looking at for right now? Resend it again. Resend it again. Resend it so it's like the most recent thing.
Okay, one sec.
Red, real quick. So, do you think that they're going to show up this week for the SCIF, or they're going to throw it off again?
Well, bro, what's your take on this? Because you're kind of new to this shit. You're coming from the more free energy side, the Ashton angle. What do you think about these folks? Do you believe them? You know what I mean? Maybe we're being too harsh and we're too cynical and we're too conspiracy minded, as people said in the last space, to think that it's strange that these three all missed it on the same day. What do you think?
So I kind of maybe I'm the wrong person to ask about this, because forget the whole topic of MH370. I truly feel, after going down this rabbit hole, bro, of seeing all the people who mysteriously gotten hit by cars over energy sources, I think it's all about energy source. And I think these dudes are full of shit, to be honest with you. I feel like they keep talking about, I don't know, interdimensional beings and all that. Like they say, what was his name? Eric Davis. He was just talking to wasn't it just the other day?
Well, bro, I just got to ask you this though. How do you, and I want to ask Ashton this too, because you guys do kind of have the belief of like, when I think it's good to have on the table and just have cognizance of it, of all this UFO shit, alien shit is just a distraction from the free energy stuff they don't want you to know about, and they want you to think it's aliens, angels, demons, and they don't want you to think that we have this technology, right? But how do you reconcile that? Because I feel like you guys both kind of hype up Hal Puthoff a lot, and he's like super, like, you know what I mean, woo woo.
So did you get a chance to see the clip well, you probably haven't, but I posted a clip earlier today about Hal Puthoff from '94. He wasn't always talking about aliens, is what I want to tell you. He was definitely just about the energy. He was talking to a bunch of oil people in the room about how they have 0-point energy, and that if you want to be if you want to invest in investment return in 5 years, this isn't something you should invest in. But if you want to be a trillionaire when you're an old man, invest in 0-point energy right now. This is in '94, 30 years ago. Yeah, I posted it.
But what does it mean when there's no trillionaires from that room? Does that make us, are we edging still? Are they still edging? Is it like the SCIF?
Let me just say this. I believe in ether entities, right? I do believe that there is life out there. I think that they're using it as a cover. So I don't want to make it seem like I don't believe in that, because I do. I think they're using it to their advantage. You know, I think they're using it to keep us from asking about this energy source. Think about what that does to the world if they have this energy source, and it would change our world. And if they've had it since the 90s, possibly the 80s, come on, our planet should look completely different. And all these people who have been invested in all these energy companies are billionaires, millionaires. You gonna tell me Hal Puthoff ain't got no money? Come on, man. That nigga, excuse my language, he's paid.
I don't know, man. I think Summer kind of has this view too, where, like I said, I feel like Hal Puthoff just goes from like big investor to big investor, promising stuff, and they got like this whole little system created to like how to make nonprofit to nonprofit to nonprofit, and like roll in the dough and spread the ideology.
That may be, but at the end of the day, what is all the fuss about, right? Because we just heard Eric Davis talking about 4 or 5 different species.
Yeah, what did you think about that? Because I know the free energy crowd. They don't have aliens and freaking gay crowd love to hype Eric Davis up too, and this motherfucker says crazy alien shit, dude.
Well, see, that's why I say I feel like they're doing it on purpose, because they don't have a problem talking about aliens. in my opinion, I'm always seeing these people talk, oh, watch out, they're coming, motherships and all that. We got clips of all that. But, you know, they've kind of always try to stay away from, we have this massive energy source and you guys, we've been played. They don't never say that though. Or if they do say we have the alien crash landing or whatever, they say we haven't figured it out. We couldn't figure it out. So, and then when you piece that with all the scientists that have figured out different energy sources who mysteriously disappear or get hit by a car or some crazy shit, like to me, it just feels like it's just all adding up to about this energy source, and they want us looking over here. Don't look over here.
Tupa said he's at a bar right now. I'll remind you guys to start his space because he said he could do it, but no, I'm just kidding. It's cool, Tupa. Have fun at the bar, bro. Don't leave the bar early because of his Twitter space. Let me see.
Hey, Red, real quick, that last meeting that they had where Elizondo showed that bullshit picture. What's the difference between that and the SCIF? The SCIF, can they get in trouble?
Well,
for
let's
lying?
play the SCIF. The SCIF is the place, and you know, let's play that little Moran Learner meme again because I think they kind of do say it. Like, I think the idea was that you could say shit in there that you couldn't say at a public hearing or something like that because of like classified clearances level.
Names and titles of the people with direct firsthand knowledge and access to some of this crash retrieval, some of these crash retrieval programs, and maybe which facilities, military bases that the recovered material would be in.
I can't discuss that publicly, but I did provide that information both to the intel committees and the inspector general.
And we could get that in the SCIF if we were allowed to get in a SCIF with you. Would that be probably what you would think?
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Could receive some of that information. Those questions that Gresh was being asked, we actually wanted to talk to him prior, and again, we were denied access to that.
You know, we were denied access to a SCIF so we could get this information. Once again, another roadblock put up.
News Nation has learned that you and your colleagues will be able to get into the classified SCIF room to look at the UAP documents you've been trying to.
He said in some of his answers, I cannot tell you in this setting. So what he's saying is we have to go to the SCIF. And we could get that in the SCIF if we were allowed to get in a SCIF.
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Real information, just putting it in the SCIF. It's just, we have to get him in the SCIF so he can tell us that stuff.
Sure.
So I think that's that old 2-3-year-old clip of Burchett saying we have to get him in the SCIF so he could tell us that stuff. I think that's what it all boils down to, is that, yeah, there's certain stuff they're not allowed to be told unless they're in a SCIF or OT7. So that's what that's all about, I think. Yeah. Does that answer your question of like why, like what's the difference between this and that hearing or this and, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely.
the idea, and I think the idea is too, it has like, if you're not familiar, I think they have like white noise and fucking anti-Havana syndrome shit. And it's like a Faraday cage. And it's like, you know, you can't like get your cell phone in or out kind of signal kind of situation too. But like, I feel like it's really just a room at the end of the day. And also too, but I'll say this too, I feel like people will sometimes maybe even set up fake SCIFs and just like hype them up off the like weirdo conspiracy clout around what a SCIF is. Like, you know what I mean? Like counterintel agents will do that to like random people and make them feel like they're counter agents doing shit and they're really just doing some weird operation. But yeah, that's a SCIF, I guess.
No, yeah, definitely. I just don't trust none of these whistleblowers who say, well, I can't talk about that. You know, I always thought that whistleblowers were saying something that they could really get in trouble for saying, right? Kind of like, what's his name from the NSA? Remember when he leaked, when he whistle blew or whatever?
Snowden?
Yeah.
Oh, we got terrestrial material. I know he's going to have something good for this. Oh, here we go. Pray for terrestrial, bro. I feel like, you know, you can still hang out, bro, even if you I just feel like terrestrial's at the end of this rope with these guys. Yeah, it's kind of like you're getting strung on a bit, bro. And I mean, dude, can we acknowledge, I feel like Luna said the same thing. Like the fact that she said they all got SCIF flu, I think she doesn't believe them. That's like, in my opinion, active acknowledgement that she does not believe this story. And then she literally had the thing where she's like, direct message, we got you the SCIF, you need to be here. What did I quoted out the the most salacious parts. What did you say? We have had two SCIF briefings this week, by the way. Melon got sick, Lou Elizondo got sick, and Mr. Grush also is not feeling well. My direct message to you, we got the SCIF. You guys need to be here for the SCIF briefings. Not a good look. Not a good look. Terrestrial, are you there? Hello, sir. Oh, are you caught up, or should I play the two little sound bites again? Let's play the sound bites.
Yeah, play the sound bites. Fuck it, run it.
I'm gonna run it. I'm even gonna run it with the SCIF montage again because this shit's been hyped up for years. Is the point? This meme is 2 years old. 2 years old, and count how many different sound bites of Bird Chat talking about this SCIF that you can. Everyone guess. I'm gonna guess 8.
Congressman Burchett finally enters a SCIF.
The names and titles of the people with direct firsthand knowledge and access to some of this crash retrieval, some of these crash retrieval programs, and maybe which facilities, military bases the recovered material would be in.
I can't discuss that publicly, but I did provide that information both to the intel committees and the inspector general.
And we could get that in the SCIF if we were allowed to get in a SCIF with you. That'd be probably what you would think.
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Could receive some of that information. Those questions that Grush was being asked, we actually wanted to talk to him prior, and again, we were denied access to that.
You know, we were denied access to a SCIF so we could get this information. Once again, another roadblock put up.
News Nation has learned that you and your colleagues will be able to get into the classified SCIF room to look at the UAP documents you've been trying to.
He said in some of his answers, I cannot tell you in this setting. So what he's saying is we have to go to the SCIF.
And we could get that in the SCIF if we were allowed to get in a SCIF.
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Real information, this putting it in the SCIF. It's just, we have to get him in the SCIF so he can tell us that stuff.
Sure.
Okay, and then so that was 2 years old, all those different sound bites, and there's been more since then, right? And then,
Yeah, you're cracking me up with
And now,
right, and then okay, I'm just gonna let the meme play because when they get into the bottom, this is who was in the bottom.
If you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
If you face
It's
that,
always just Stevie
you're not
Greer,
going to
dude.
be afraid of death.
After all
And
the
so
bullshit,
I
it
have
was just
sort of
left-handed gay
I
psionics.
built the spirit warrior mindset where I'm just not afraid of if I get threatened. I've been threatened plenty with what I'm doing.
All right, but here's Luna today. Here's Luna today, dude. Let's see.
Here's our latest Ask a Poll exclusive from your U.S. Capitol.
Hey, how'd it go, Madam Chair? So I heard we're going to get a JFK hearing on the 20th.
We have some great witnesses, and also Obi and I uncovered 6 boxes of the Joe Nene's files, so that could be it.
When do you think we'll get a UAP hearing?
We actually have one being noticed currently, so you guys will see all that information coming out.
What happened with this week's hearing?
Well, we have 2 SCIF briefings this week, and
Yeah.
by the way, Melon got sick, Elizondo got sick,
Yeah.
and Mr. Grush also is not feeling well, but Grush has been very helpful.
Yeah.
So my message is, we got the SCIF. You guys need to be here for the SCIF briefings.
Yep.
Thanks.
Awesome. From your U.S. Capitol.
How many showed up?
We had 3 in there, but 3 of our main ones were sick. So we're going to get it back on the books and see if they show up. They had SCIF flu.
How was FBI?
Amazing. It was 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You could just, I
Give you
literally,
more direction.
hey, I was going to tell them in regards to our FBI SCIF interview, 10 out of 10 makes us reconsider Arrow.
You guys need to meet this guy.
Yeah.
That sounded low-key like, I'm not sure dramatic, but it sounded like she was trying to, I don't know, it sounded like she was trying to stir a little bit of shit with that last part, but I don't know. What do you think,
No, she's what I think is that she's gonna get a cease and desist, and now she's gonna say Laszlo AI to her voice.
That was next, right? Yeah, no, seriously. And honestly, I think that whole, I mean, people are going to say I'm a narcissist, which I kind of am maybe. But I think, does that play a role into this? Because, you know, we learned some big shit about Lou Elizondo and potentially Grush, you know? And I just think all these weirdo things happening so close to each other maybe has to be examined. Maybe it's not connected. The photo, this Doty Elizondo thing about Space Force, and the weirdo shit that happened after that, where we learned that they're basically working for the same team, seems, and then now they're not here. You know what I mean?
Well, it seems split, dude. Like Burleson seems like he's all in, like he's on board. which is interesting because at the beginning he was, I think, the most skeptical. He was like, I'm from the show me state, you got to show me. And now he's just like, Eric
Did the
Davis with his
auditing.
reptilians, I'm in, dude, I'm here,
And he was even like, don't be mean to Lou, guys, about the photo.
What, brother, listen, that take on that photo, how he doesn't see that it's a problem with 2 photos in 6 months, that was like one of the most tilting takes I've heard in ufology in a really long time.
Oh, keep riffing that. I'm going to pull it up. Riff it for like 30 more seconds.
Yeah, no, I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like, I couldn't believe, but you know what though? When you had Laszlo was talking to Nancy Mace and he was asking her about Corbell and how Corbell was kind of going in on her, calling them liars and stuff like that. And she goes, well, I haven't heard any of that. They're still kind of talking to me. I thought, well, that's gotta be bullshit, right? Like, there's no way she didn't see the Tubi stuff and understand. Then after Burleson said what he said, I was like, man, maybe they really are this disconnected from this shit. And that's crazy to me because for the longest time, I figured they would jump in a space, even if it's on anonymous.
Full
They would be
exclusive.
paying attention to this stuff, and they're not. Yeah, go ahead.
Here we go. Thank you, sir.
From your U.S. Capitol.
Everyone go give Ask.
Welcome to that. A lot of frustration in this area right now because you've got, we had Lou Elizondo has left the UAP disclosure.
I want to remind you, the first thing he said was, you got a lot of frustration in this field right now, and then he goes into Lou Elizondo leaving UAPDF. Like, what? Whoa.
And I think that's unfortunate. I don't think people should beat up on Lou as much as he's been beat up on the internet and social media.
Yeah.
The truth is, he's a U.S. citizen. He's a patriot. He's only done things to attempt to be loyal to his country. And at the UAP hearing, when he showed the photo to me, he said the caveat that he's not vetted this, and that he was just handed this, and he almost hesitated to show us because he wanted to have time to vet it, but he wants to be transparent. Give the guy a break. Give him a break. I would rather have people err on the side of being aggressive in their disclosure than to be overly cautious. So I think that your listeners should understand that, and hopefully they do understand that. And look, don't you want all of it out there, even the stuff so that everybody, let the internet and the sleuth finders figure this out. Let the collective intelligence of the United States citizens determine what's the facts on some of this stuff. That's what I think we would all want.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you know why there's no hearing this week?
Open hearing. I don't. There's not a lot of communication, I believe, happening between the oversight. We're not understanding. I have not heard why we're not having the open hearing. I had a hearing with Arrow yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I had a meet briefing with Arrow for
just you and them.
Are you ready to talk?
Yeah. No, I just wanted to give comment. This is also very interesting.
A briefing with Arrow, and David Grush was with me.
Oh, interesting. And just you.
And David gave them more information, I think, than they gave us.
Really?
Yes. So at least new information.
Yeah.
So that was a very productive.
What do you think? I think there's Red. Like, what is like? Here's the whole thing with that, dude. Like, what does Lou having to be a patriot have to do with anything about that photo? Like, what he started going down this trail.
He went down the talking points.
That anybody's even mad about, but nobody's even mad about. Nobody's even like bringing up whether or not he's a patriot. People are just pissed at the photos there, and so that doesn't make any sense to me at all. And then,
give the guy a break.
Well, it's like, does he even know the chandelier photo existed? Does Burleson? Do we think
They probably really tried to inoculate him from that for sure.
I don't think he does, bro. I'll be real.
My hot take is, dude, I think he 100%. I bet you're going to hear about it one day, probably within 2 years. I bet you he 100% had some weirdo Havana syndrome drone Scientology experience after interacting with one of these guys that like evangelized him. The amount of UFO media people who had some kind of crazy drone a UFO experience that they think it's a UFO experience after hanging out with these people, they're either like actually like in contact with like interdimensional beings, or they're faking it for people at times. You got Jesse Michaels, Schellenberger was another example, Matt Ford, Danny Jones, right? They're either actually in contact with NHI or they're faking it for people, and they have a system down. And I think when you see this activation by people like Burleson, like give Lou a break for showing fake photos. I think it's because these motherfuckers are like low key on a like Schellenberger when he's talking about it with Rogan. He feel like, I mean, it is like we see what happens when people see some shit. Like it fucks with your head a little bit and like it changes your perspective, and it's really easy time to like evangelize someone. You know, it's like a little bit more than just something that people are into. It becomes almost like a religiously motivated fucking fatwa to get this shit out. You know what I mean? I know that's my take there.
Well, the reality of it is, bro, is they'll end up going into I think they'll go to the skip. They have to at some point. Like, there's no way, like, just for their reputation.
Okay, so for the record, do you believe that they all got sick? Because Astral does.
No, I don't. That's okay if he does.
Hey,
No,
Red,
I
real
don't.
quick. Red, real quick. When you get a chance, I sent you that how put off clip. You think you can play it?
Yeah, I'll play it in a second here. Let's talk a little bit more about the skip, and then I'm down, because that's all about like free energy and shit, right? But it actually might be relevant. I think it's probably actually relevant too. But yeah, so what do you think, Trestle? They lied?
But no, I think they'll have to go. And so really, like, the question is like, what is the game? Like, what is the game plan here at this point? Like, because I personally don't think that they have anything. So are they delaying it, trying to get their story straight, or are they just banking on when they go in here and they say whatever they're going to say, that they can just kind of at the very end of it come out and say, well, you know, this place where I told you all the material was, and they moved it. That's why you didn't find it off all the information.
No, I'm with you. I don't get it, dude.
Like, I don't like what's the game plan, because they're gonna have to go, Red. They're gonna have to,
because they've hyped it up for so long. They didn't go. I want to know why they didn't go, and I'm with you too. Like, it's not just why they didn't go now. Like, what's going on in the future? Like,
correct.
You know what I mean? Like, what's the move from here? Like, why did you do all this dancing about this skiff? So, what do you think it is, though? Like, let's try and get a little more. I know we're all speculating, but why do you think they didn't go, Terrestrial? Like, for what reason?
I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to get stories still straight. You know, I don't know how well they are informed when these things are going to pop up. So they might have felt like they weren't ready to get in there just yet and go do that. But at the same time, it's like also lose out, I think, in Oregon, dude, making money
With
doing
thousands of
beer
fans,
business.
dude. That's what his lawyer said. Lose out there with
Yes.
thousands of fans. He's always got time. So he's either a super spreader, or was he sick? Was he not sick?
I don't know. Maybe they just said, fuck it. They can reschedule. We'll go make the money. Then we'll come back and do this whenever we want to. Like, I don't know, which is crazy.
Or maybe
but
what Gage
it's
said,
hard
and
to say.
maybe they all got Havana syndrome by the fucking the what's the word, break race civilization that runs this shit, and it can do whatever they want to whoever they want in any country.
I like that one. I like.
I
that
mean,
theory. That's a
Well,
fun
they
one.
heard
I don't
that,
know, man. I don't know.
that muscle, who's it, Museum of Tarot guy that was on Davy Jones? He was saying that they take people to Skinwalker and they purposely like get them sick or something.
I'm not trying to get sued, but I believe that there are people who definitely know how to induce, fucking make people have crazy experiences through a combination of psychotronic weapons, hypnosis, and drones, and they're very good at it, and they know how to like hit people at a time when it'll like really activate a motherfucker. What's up, Flack?
What's good, guys? I tried hammering Doty on all that kind of stuff the other night, and he wasn't having any of it. I was asking
I'm
about
so down, dude. Okay, yeah, because I feel like I was kind of being annoying in other spaces because I feel like people didn't want to talk about it because they still want to like hang out with Doty and shit, which I don't care. Love Doty, whatever. I don't care.
It's all right. He just avoided.
But he
every
did
single
straight up
question.
fucking lie and threw me and those UK TikTokers under the bus, which honestly it's kind of funny to think about. And like when he's long gone and dead, I'll be like, oh, remember that time Doty fucking lied about me?
It'll be fun. Something to laugh.
It'll be right? Like yeah, it's like, but I think it does show that all these fuckers work for the same team, dude.
Oh, absolutely.
They like to keep it like they're separate, like Doty and Lou are separate, but when push came to shove, he was ready to lie about me. We've been cool in space for like 2 years.
I haven't even given him that much time yet. I was still pretty upset from the past 30 interviews that he denied having. Like, am I crazy for watching like a 2-hour interview he did with Greer when he first came out? And then, like, I asked him about the plasma tech that he was talking about in that, and he totally denied it. He was like, that Benevitz never mentioned any plasma tech or orbs, or it was just ridiculous.
Shane here? No, sir, he is not here right now. Sorry, are you a tax collector, debt collector?
Wrong number, sir.
Collect dicks.
Okay, but yeah, no, Doty totally, yeah, he just totally lied. And again, like, it's no hard feelings. I honestly think it's funny, to be honest. But it also, like I said, shows the power structure here. The man was frantic, like up all night. Are you one of the people that he talks about from his group that like sent to disrupt when it gets to a certain thing? Let's remove you, brother. it illuminated the structure. And then, yeah, there was that weirdo shit he said about like the monitoring that goes on in spaces, which I think he said because he was nervous. And when I talked to him, I hella busted him in some lies. But yeah, it shows that they all fucking work for the same team. When push comes to shove, there's a direct line there, and they're willing to. Because remember, Lou Elizondo's right-hand man also accused us of AI manipulation at the exact same time as Doty. So they're both willing to falsely accuse people of crimes when push comes to shove, if the narrative gets a little out of control, which I think is worth noting. And I don't think it's like crazy to just acknowledge that. What's up, guy?
No, I was just gonna say, do you remember when Lou Elizondo said that ufology has to die? Well, since I come over from Instagram, and even when I was on Instagram, and just not long after 2017, I've been totally against these CIA guys, and that they all work for the same team. I'd love to get my hands on that Bigelow, Tom DeLonge, and Luis Elizondo selfie that DeLonge deleted just after he uploaded it to Instagram.
Who was it?
The Tom DeLonge, Lou Elizondo, and Robert Bigelow selfie that Tom DeLonge posted.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, and I think his daughter's in it too, right?
Yeah, and then deleted. I think I was on the TTSA day, but like say the lost my train of thought, but the database and stuff that's been created, for them to have nothing, like say because a lot of people don't realize that the database that they created was like the Capella database, which was carried on from Ballet. And this is what Elizondo probably was keeping the lockdown on the counter security. That's the counter intelligence. That's what he was brought in to protect any of that data leaking. And that was like the amalgamation of 11 databases, including like MUFONs, and then setting up that rapid response team with Richard Lang heading it after James Carrion was fucked off for embezzlement, apparent embezzlement, and Richard Lang ran that team with coincidentally 40 scientists, researchers, and 12 investigators. That number of 40 whistleblowers, it matches that group of the rapid response team who investigated 30 to 50 out of 800 cases a month from MUFON. But every month, those who know MUFON, you get constant updates on the monthly reports, and every month you get about 30 landings and encounters. So these guys were investigating these on rapid response teams, and Bigelow even says I think he sent it the other day in a Mystery Wire interview with Nap, that after the DIA didn't want to take it on after the draft was done for that one that was released the other day, that Bigelow carried it on himself, and that would have been ATIP. And these guys should have all this data. They should be released.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. I got a question from my brother in Christ, Logan. Logan, how are you, bro?
What's up, bro? Just chilling and working on some music. How's it going? What's some new news or?
I got some old news of new. How would you feel if I falsely accused you of like AI manipulation in my voice?
Oh yeah, it's been another day for me. I think I get accused of that pretty frequently. By you would probably be like, "What the fuck? This guy accusing me?" But yeah, that one would hurt. I think actually, yeah.
It would hurt a little bit, right? Yeah. So, like, what are your thoughts, dude, about now the dust is settled with the whole Doty situation? I think, I don't know. That space we were in the other night, I think you couldn't even fell asleep. People were, not to influence the jury, but people were like, yeah, he kind of like lied at first, got caught in a lie, and then had to like double lie. But like he was very happy. And again, I think it shouldn't be missed that like Rob Heatherly was also actively lying like right at the same time. What do you think about the whole situation? Like, contact with Lou, now Doty and Lou's boy are both lying and accusing us of AI manipulation. What does that say about the landscape here?
I mean, just like these UFO cult people are gonna do what UFO cult people do, bro. They just go down with the ship, like swinging the rope for anything, I guess. Just like I don't know. Let them have at it. It's all good to me, man. It's all bullshit anyway. Does anyone actually believe them, or it just makes them look foolish, doesn't it?
Yeah, I feel like there's this like veneer that they're like not connected, and it's like, oh no, they're pretty connected actually. Because again, I've been chill with Doty for like going on 2 years here or somewhere around there. Never had an issue.
Feeling a little bit butthurt about that. Yeah.
I mean, you said you'd be hurt. I mean, I'm not hurt. I'm just like, dude, like, it shows like who wears the pants in this narrative control shit, dude. He was frantically.
Doty had to do what Doty had to do.
He was
right?
frantically
So,
typing out all caps tweets, making up lies, accusing people of crimes. Why? Why were you so like crazy? Why did you get so crazy there for a little bit, Doty? Who was it? Was it Hal? Hal told you, huh?
Well,
who was it? Who was it, Doty?
Sorry. He actually like had to triple down because at first he said it was you. Then he amorphously said it was somebody that he mistaken it was you. Then he said that it was the TikTok interview guys who actually were in the space and they spoke up for themselves, which is pretty cool. Then he blamed it on Gaia, that it was someone from Gaia sent him a video clip where he knew that he didn't like. I don't know if he ever actually saw like the original thing that it came on. Like from what he finally claimed at the end of it was that it was a clip sent from somebody from Gaia of a Gaia interview that had AI manipulation over some of his parts. Which that's kind of the same thing that he said about another one. Like it sounds like a recycled excuse anyway.
I mean, if you guys, how can you keep track of like all the different people being blamed? Like I lost track of it. I don't know like where at the end of the day it all like landed about who's to blame for any of it. And I really don't care because it doesn't really matter. I mean, I know why he did it. So
But you hang out with him all the time now, though. Just like, are you still gonna just like? I'm not asking you to not.
Well,
I'm just saying like
he also shotgunned like all those excuses in about 15 minutes.
he also love bombed you in that space, Logan. He love bombed the fuck out of you and was like, "You're gonna get Hal Put off on. We're gonna have so much fun." Like, do you feel weird? Like
he told me that we weren't gonna get Hal Put off on. I mean, that's what he told me.
Like, do you feel like he's even worth listening to if he's willing to like lie about shit that easily?
Here's this thing about Doty that I don't think people like understand. Or, I mean, first of all, I only see Doty when you see Doty. Like, I don't private message him or we don't hang out like outside of Twitter or anything. I only see him on the time that he actually shows up. That's the only time I ever see him at that time. We don't private message each other hardly. Like, that's all I ever see of him. So I see him like what, once every couple months maybe. And our exchanges are all that you can see publicly, really. So we don't have that.
And I'm not saying to not be his friend, but I do got to think like, what if the next time it's someone else and he accuses of, and the word is accuse this person of CP on their computer or something. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be dramatic or anything, but like to fabricate crimes against people that one you've known for a while and were friendly with, and then two, these guys over in the UK that are just starting off. Like that's not some little fucking thing to me. You know what I mean? Like you're actively lying about something. You're not going to the police about it, but you're accusing people of like really like not good shit. You know what I mean? And you're happy to do it. Zero fucks given.
We were able to sleuth it out though, bro. The problem is that we're fucking hosting another space and everything's cool again. Like everybody's like, yeah, let's host another space with Doty. It's all good. Like that's the problem is we're not fucking
that's what I was saying.
Holding that shit to the fire and like, yo, you just lied. And doubled down when even in MySpace, bro, the whole thing was like, I asked him about the specific information on MySpace. So all the AI shit was bullshit from the get-go.
Yeah, and that's the one I say too. It's so good. I'm making a little short video about it, but it's so good that he was in your space. I was there too for an hour and a half talking about this clip, no issues. Then he got an email or call, it sounds like from Lou Elizondo, and then within an hour, he was all like going manic about it and saying that it was AI generated. Like that's just crazy, I think, and worth noting that like that's how this game works. Just don't you just know like how what the field looks like and like what it actually is. Like I feel like that was a kind of mask off moment for the narrative there. And
so Red Panda, how much have you learned from Doty? Like as much as Doty's ever told you, what have you gotten away with it at the end of the day? What have you learned?
I guess the main thing I could take that's concrete is that the involvement his uncle had with Blue Book. I find that pretty interesting. And that's kind of actually, that's verifiable. Well, I mean, I'll actually know some of the other ways, the stuff with Bill Moore and the stuff. But then again, now I'm just like, is that even fucking real, you know?
Exactly. I mean, any of the stuff he's ever told you, like, I mean, take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I don't think I've walked away with really like any like real knowledge or like, oh, I learned that. I mean, it's all just stories at the end of the day that I can't verify. I don't believe shit that I can't like verify anyway. So I don't. It could all be lies to me. I don't fucking know. It doesn't really matter because it's just stories that people find entertaining. I don't really take much stock in it. So,
But it's just weird. I guess for me, it's just like I really view all these guys as just people, and this is like this weird like elevation people have, and then it's like a weird elevation too. Then for like liars, you know what I mean? Like Doty's no different than Kent in a space, right? You know what I mean? Not, and that's not a knock on Kent, but it's just like we're all just humans, and it's like if a human did that, like I don't know. I feel like if another motherfucker did that in this space, people would be like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Da, 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 da.
Yeah, but
And,
we all lie, don't we? And you understand why he had to lie, don't you? He explained it to you, or I guess that Eric did anyway.
do that part. What?
He had to backtrack it because of the shit he was getting into trouble with, right? The lawyer and all that kind of stuff.
He's just too handsome, guys. He's just too fucking handsome.
Oh,
I mean, he said some shit that was pretty.
I don't know. I doubt that.
Like a bunch of trouble he was getting because of what he said, right? He had to backtrack it. Like, otherwise, then you're just gonna be in a whole pile of shit, right? So.
And I feel like honestly,
why he did it.
the whole hoopla, I feel like just serves to show how significant that initial piece of information was. And it show, I'm honestly kind of glad this whole thing went down the way it did because I really feel like it illuminated a lot of stuff that people probably knew, but it's like, no, now you know for sure. Lou Elizondo, Richard Doty, direct line, and they will gladly have people lied about in crimes to cover up some shit. If in unison, they will do that together. So,
do you think he like committed a crime saying that like you AI generated some stuff?
Like crime has this like I don't want to press charges or anything like that, but I mean it kind of maybe like I mean I don't know if crime's the right word. There's it's definitely a lie though, right? Like it's an overt lie about someone.
Okay.
It's definitely like a violation of trust, that's for sure.
Quick class
Yeah.
for everybody in the room right now. It's called defamation and or slander. If you have the money for it and it's a bad enough lie that does hurt your career in any sort of way, it's worth going after. If you don't mind, I'd leave it. Especially with Doty, I would most definitely leave it alone. But I'm just.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna pursue anything. I'm just curious because Logan's my homie here, and I know he's like homies with Doty, and Doty was literally love bombing him in the same space. He was like lying about the whole situation.
I'm just giving everybody.
Like Logan, what do you think? Like, and I told you this too, Logan. Like, he never says my name. He never fucking like acknowledges me. And in the space, you could tell. Like, remember, like I was tripping him up. He said, like, do you know what a fucking? We're gonna play right now, actually. Do you know what a link is and shit like that? And
Right. Yeah.
I can't help but feel like it's like because he knows I'll call his ass out on shit. But then on the flip side of that, it's like the people that he's love bombing. Like, what is like? I'm not trying to make you feel bad or anything, but like, do you feel like he views you as someone that he could easily manipulate? You know what I mean?
Manipulate. I mean, I don't know. I'd be. I mean, maybe I don't know. But why he doesn't mention your name? Like, the same reason I thought of before. I guess it's just because you ask him like questions that are like uncomfortable for him to answer. I guess probably doesn't really love that too much. But I mean, I don't know. It's just a guess. You have to ask him.
Carolyn Way.
Hey guys. Yeah, I listened to the whole conversation, but the libel defamation stuff is something that you should tread lightly on and not get too fully involved because it does get expensive.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think no one's even. Yeah, no. I just think it's more just for the narrative. Just know these guys all work together. They all probably work for Alpudov.
Yeah, I'm listening to you guys. What is like the main question that you guys hold to what you want to know about, ufology and shit like that?
Who does Alpudov work for?
Who does Alpudov work for? Sorry, I'm just gonna play the Doty part where I asked him questions because it's funny. And also, he's going to talk a little about the monitoring that goes on spaces that I think is kind of interesting in its own little separate tangent. I kind of want to hear people discuss. Let's see. Where are we at? Uh-oh. Where's this guy at? So, my shit's like not working. One second. Logan, kill time.
Yeah, I gotta go back and find that love bombing stuff you're talking about. I missed that the first time around. I think I was having audio issues or something. But
You're probably just in some like state of hypnosis love bombing.
Yeah, that's gonna be good for the clips. I gotta get those.
I know the difference. Information that was. How can you information doing?
Can tell us, but whatever information they want to put out, if
you said. So real quick, I'm glad we were able to clarify all this. Because yeah, we had that nice space with Astral. We kind of talking about it. Then at about 9 p.m., you said last night on a space, I told a story about Lou Elizondo asking me to work for Space Force within the counterintelligence office. I declined his offer. At no time did I make a statement that Lou wanted me to work as a disinformation agent for Space Force against the public. That is a complete lie. Those who posted that video and those who made the AI of me are now blocked by me. I will not tolerate any untruths told about me. I've received over 200 emails, DMs from people asking about my statement. I told the same story on the Thomas Fessler show in August. So this was about the Gaia video, which I haven't seen, by the way, and I haven't talked to anyone who's actually seen it. But this is you were getting a bunch of heat about the Gaia video or the video from the TikTok interview.
Well, I thought it was one, but it was actually the other, because the Gaia video, a person sent me a DM with a link to that video. And so I clicked on the link, and it was the Gaia interview. And the Gaia is where I immediately determined was faked or dubbed, because they mentioned Space Command, and I would never do that. I know I was in the Air Force. I mean, I know the difference between the different branches, and
So the Space Command Space Force thing is the reason why he was all capsing people, allegedly. That's the new reason. Just fucking, he's lying right there, bro.
actually
He's like,
have a relative in the Space Force right now. So I mean, and then I sent it to Gaia, and Gaia said, "Yeah, it's bullshit." And so
Was that on X publicly when it was sent to you?
I don't know where it was. He sent me the link. You understand what a link is, right?
and then mind you, in his initial or his post, he had said that it was already viewed by 10,000 people on X, and he was pissed about this Gaia video. Now he doesn't know where it was sent.
Damn,
That's
Panda,
why he got
you know
all
what a
flustered.
link is, right?
That's why he got all flustered about that link thing. Like, he's lying out his ass right here. Okay, yeah, let's see. Oh, did it freeze on me? Of course it did. Yeah, he's lying out of his ass right there, and like it sounds just like all his other stories. I'm just saying, like, at what point is it like we're listening to fucking Fred Rogers again in a space that make up random lies about shit, you know?
Oh yeah, exactly. Like, just listen to a bunch of his other interviews as well. Like, I'm telling you, at least once in every single interview he does, he talks about the hate and things that he's getting, and how he deals with those, and it's all the same thing. Especially when he brought up the lawyer. I don't know if you noticed, he wouldn't give a timeline on when he actually really even spoke to a lawyer about anything, because he said he spoke to them about something similar. So it could have been from a year ago when he got
Well,
the
and
same.
we know that the timeline is, luckily, because he went in that astral space. It was like a 2-hour window between the end of his in the astral space, talking about that exact clip with me, even never mentioning AI. Within 2 hours, he starts his like little manic thing, and I found that spot again. I'm just going to play out again. Oh, isn't it going to not work now too?
Hey, you know what? Real quick, like, say that you're in Doty's shoes, right? And you have to like do what he has to do, and how would you do it differently?
What does he have to do, and why is what I want to know. Like, what is it actually going on here? What's the mechanism that like why the fuck does he have to do anything?
Can you hear me, Rick?
He said something, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, he said something that he regretted saying. He had to walk it back, right, because of reasons, right? So he had to like go about doing that a certain way, and I mean, he did it his own way, I guess. But like, how would you have done it differently?
I would have apologized and then not done it 3 more times after. Like, I don't know, maybe I was raised a bit different, but even seeing how things go on social media, a genuine apology and then just not doing it again immediately after usually works.
Real quick, I found the spot real quick.
Is where I immediately determined was fake or dubbed, because they mentioned Space Command, and I would never do that. I know I was in the Air Force. I mean, I know the difference between the different branches, and I actually have a relative in the Space Force right now. So I mean, and then I sent it to Gaia, and Gaia said, "Yeah, it's bullshit."
I feel like everyone he's telling this to, he thinks is an
Was
idiot.
that on X publicly when it was sent to you?
I don't know where it was. He sent me the link. You understand what a link is, right?
Yeah, so it might have actually taken you off X, probably.
I clicked on that link, and I got the YouTube video of this.
Okay, so it was on
Now,
YouTube.
I
Not
don't know.
X, like his initial post.
I don't know. It could very well have been on X2. I don't know. I've been too busy doing other things, trying to get other things off X. But it very obviously other people have seen it because they sent it to me.
No one knows
Okay,
what guy
cool.
this video
Obviously,
is.
they got it from someplace.
It's all
else.
deleted, he said.
So and then this kind of like the logistics of this kind of block list you got and these people who were helping you out. Because I know that I got blocked. You know, thank you for unblocking me. And the TikTokers got blocked from the UK. Was this the same people who sent you the video initially, or like how did they determine? Like, how did the TikTokers end up getting blocked? You know, in this situation, were they on that list from these people?
There were a lot of people on this list, and I didn't actually. Initially I was going to block everybody, but then I went through. I did. Others assisted me. Okay, and they found that, oh, you know what, this guy didn't say this, or this account, or this, however you want to call them, account didn't say this, and I made a mistake of thinking that maybe the TikTok video was connected, but I realized, well, after speaking exhaustingly with Gaia over this, their people, I realized that it wasn't connected. So I went back and unblocked the UK guys, and I apologized to them. I'm sorry. I jumped to conclusion thinking everything was connected, and it wasn't. So I mean,
and again, the you know what a link is, Jonathan Simon's comment. It's passive aggressive, full stop. It totally is, and that's just like, I mean, I knew it was a loaded question because I knew I was calling him out on his bullshit. But if he was being honest, it wasn't a loaded question, right? But he responded to it like it was, because he knew that he was fucking lying.
So,
okay, yeah, they were kind of worried. Did the people who sent you this kind of list, did it seem like they already had it ready to go, or was there a lot of like intelligence that went into creating it? Do you think?
Well, there's a lot to that I'm not going to go into, because there's a reason why, and it goes back some time, that these people are doing this for me, and because there's a lot that people don't realize goes on in spaces, that there's a lot of algorithms in X that I'm sure a lot of people don't realize exists. And you can go in and type a name and find, 7,000 mentions of that person in any kind of postings on Twitter. I mean, on X. And these people were doing that, and they're all my fans or former colleagues. So, but what they did was they gave me examples. When I first said, what am I going to do all this? They just gave me a list. Well, I don't know. I see Logan and UFO now. I don't know who they are. And I've never met these people other than Eric. I mean, and maybe a couple others in this room, Brian Jackson. But I don't know who they are. And I first said, wait a minute. Do you have any background on any of these people? Then they sent me the gem or the gold mine. They sent me what these people were saying about me.
Yeah. So again, and obviously it's probably a little personal for me because he lied about me. But I mean, even for the bystander, people like Logan, like even there, he's like lying, right? Actively lying, expecting everyone. And the thing I think you need to consider, he's lying, sounding like a sweet old man, right? Just like he sounds when he tells us all his other stuff. So it's like, I feel like it's almost kind of like an insult to like lie to someone like that and expect them to believe you. Like it shows that he views you as like, not you in particular, like just like the person he's selling the story to that he hopes buys it, he views them as an idiot because he knows he's lying too. You know what I mean? Just my thoughts there. And there's another part about this list that he talked about that I'm going to play. But what do you think, Guy?
One sec, Edma. I was writing something. What I think is just 1 second. Let me just retract my mind. Sorry, man.
Time and time again, and one of them that I've noticed recently is the advanced working group reaching out to people as soon as they kind of get a little bubbling or get some popularity. Maybe you can't reveal like, methods, but what type of stuff like grabs the attention of the working group to make them reach out to people like that?
Within the advanced working group, we have a pretty sophisticated group of people that are monitor spaces. I can guarantee you there's a couple in here tonight. And TikTok and podcasts and things like that. When they find somebody that's interesting, have some kind of verifiable background as a intelligence officer or military person, and maybe have had a legitimate connection with a UAP or UFO experience, that would tend to be the type that that this particular group would go and ask and talk to, and not necessarily bring into the group, but just gather information, see if they want to have a cup of coffee and talk about their experience. And there's different approaches that we would use. I've done it. Being a former counterintelligence officer, we're trained to make contact with people and get them to know us, and then sit down with them on a cup of coffee or a drink and talk about their experience. And that's something they do, and it's just for our own reason. We don't work for a government. We're a private entity, and the group.
I don't know. I just thought it was weird. It says they got people.
Hey, Senor Doty's here. We can just ask him if we have any clarifying, questions or whatever.
Well, let him listen. If he wants to come up, he's more than welcome. Again, Doty, even what I was saying when it was all going down live in space, like no hard feelings. Like you're kind of pushed up against the wall, but I do think it is worth noting that how this all went down, what that says about the flow of information around these people that are giving us all this other information. What do you think, Guy?
I just think it's a very big coincidence if those two things did happen at the same time. The Gaia video and the other one was highlighted. But I've said all along that that Elizondo has been a patsy, and they will take the hit as the patsy, and the final nail has kind of been put in. But the thing that kind of got me was the bass thing that was released the other day on Reddit. I was suspicious of it anyway, but the amount of praising it did for Elizondo and the amount of criticism it hit on Jay Stratton, it just kind of cemented me that I guess Elizondo's probably released that. It's I don't have no issue with Doty, but he's been doing that all his career, taking orders to muddy the waters, and it's one of those you take it as it is. In this field you trust no one, as it was taught by a great TV show we all watched, but people forget that, and
yeah, and honestly, the history nerd in me is fascinated, and I do find the whole thing kind of fun. It's almost like the Office funniness with a little bit of history flair. It is kind of it's interesting, and you don't really see Doty and Elizondo brush up publicly much, right? You know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting. And Jonathan Simons, I see your hand up there, and yeah, I see your DM. No, I was commenting on how you had said that the comment about "do you know what a link is" was passive aggressive, and I agree. And there was some kind of weird emotion there, right? For what should be an innocuous question of just where was it? Why was that the response?
Oh yeah, I was just confused because you were shotgunning my name real quick, and I couldn't quite make of what you were saying. But if you were,
yeah, I was just reading your comment that you had made about that clip.
Oh yeah. Well, if that's the case, then for sure, 100%, that's a passive aggressive statement, to the extreme. I mean, that's crazy. If it was something like a link, everybody knows. None of us doesn't know what a link is. We all know what it is. So that's crazy. And it's wild. I don't know.
And that was about the source of the video. And that's honestly, I personally believe there was no Guy video. I'll be honest with you, Doty. I think that was a lie. I have to get the Maury sound clip. But again, I think actually, Jonathan, you're a good person to have here too, because it's a different track. But I always say, There's people monitoring these spaces for experiencers. I know for a fact there is one cult group, and I'm not saying Doty's part of this cult group. I think there's a bunch of different groups here monitoring shit. But that if you see the lady or you see end of the world visions when you have entity encounters or some shit, they like want to hit you up, they want to talk to you, but then sometimes also spit you out. You know what I mean? And I just think that's kind of worth noting that, like, you know, people just come here, they find a comfortable spot to talk about their experiences, and there are these groups like monitoring and like, I mean, Doty also just said there too, and maybe it's not like anything nefarious, but monitoring groups for spaces like at all times. And
Bruh, that's
yeah.
weird. That's weird.
Is that weird? Am I weird for thinking that's weird?
No, absolutely you're not. That is weird.
Like, why not be open about it, or why was it, you know?
Well, let me just jump in real quick because you mentioned the lady, and like a few months ago, I had some interesting people, for lack of a better word, contact me, and someone asked me, "Has anyone in your family had any word contact?" And 2 days before that, my mother told me a story, and she knows nothing about ufology. She's never heard of Chris Bledsoe. And she told me, after I was telling her all about my experiences, she was like, 'cause I was telling her about like the whole telepathy thing, psionic thing. And she's like, when I was a kid, maybe 6 years old, there was this lady, this woman that came to me, woke me up in the middle of the night, and she described identically the same woman that Chris Bledsoe mentions. And she was like telepathically talking to my mother and says, "Which is your favorite dress?" She's in her closet. She's saying,
"Wait, this happened to you, or this happened when your mom was a kid?"
Happened to my mom when she was a kid. And
Oh,
this
wow.
woman that came to my mom in the middle of the night was telepathically talking to her, saying, "Which is your favorite dress?" She's in a closet, and my mom was paralyzed with fear. And the woman was going through each dress one by one by one. And finally, she came to my mother's favorite dress. After she asked her, which is her favorite dress, she goes, "Oh, this is your favorite dress." And my mom was paralyzed. She couldn't speak, terrified. And that was the end of her experience. But I told this person, I'm not going to mention her name, she's in this community. You know, I told her about that. And it was literally a day or so after I had this conversation with my mother on the phone. So the layers run deep, man. The layers run deep. It's crazy. I don't think any of us fully understand. And this, I don't want it to sound like I'm being arrogant or have hubris about this, but I myself don't think I fully comprehend the layers that run deep in this community as far as monitoring and counter intel. I think it's a very legitimate thing.
And cults, and religious cults. One could say all religions are UFO cults, right? Like, these things, when they see them, evoke shit in people, and they get motivated on some other level. And that could easily be harnessed and weaponized. And if a group's monitoring people who see shit, and they can become tapped and become radicalized and do crazy shit, yeah.
Hey, Brad, real quick. You remember that Jesse Michael when Greer went on there and said that Rogan for Spotify had to take his.
Yeah, Greer was being hella mean to my boy Jesse there, dude.
Yeah, no, he always does that to everybody. He's weird, bro. Greer is weird. But when he said that Spotify, in order for Joe Rogan to get that deal, he had to take it, because you can't get his. You have to like really search for his episode from what, 20 years ago, damn near.
Yeah, I mean, he did say that, and Lil Pop would always say that too, and you can't find it.
Yeah, and then not only that is he never had him back on. Joe's never had Greer back on. So what do you? I don't know. That's just wild to me.
Not just that, he's had on like the playlist of people who like actively shit talk Greer, right? They're like the clear other camp of Greer.
Yeah, I have a.
Greer's part of the. But then again, who knows? But it seems like he, in my opinion,
Bro, what if
he's
they
like an
all,
outside. Yeah.
What if they all work for the same head of this, right? Like, what if they're just different arms of the same thing, right? And the whole point of this entire thing is to get something passed so that when this energy comes out, or whenever aliens or whatever the case may be, right, comes out, that nobody has to face any charges.
I think they're definitely worried about that. Tupa, what's up, bro? Are you free? You still
my blood alcohol level, let's fucking go.
You're an asshole, bro. I started this because you said you were ready, and then 2 hours later. But we're gonna beat a dead horse.
Hold
And
on.
we're gonna run through everything all over again.
Let's go over the facts here. It was, are you free for a space tonight or working? I said, I'm free. And then you didn't say I'm going to start it in 30 minutes. You just said, are you free for a space tonight?
Oh, okay, my bad. I said tonight, and I'm an asshole.
But I'm here now. And so
This has been going for 2 hours?
Yeah, it's grinding, dude. This is a good space.
Doty left. I wanted to send out a personal message to Doty. Damn it.
He was here?
He was listening there for a bit while I was talking about the situation. Doty, if you're listening, still on a burner. And I'm a little sad for you too, because I'd like to have this idea that like you were done with the bullshit. That you were like no one had to like, yeah, maybe you had some NDAs or some shit, but you were like free out here talking to us. And then to see you just like at the turn of a fucking dime, an hour after chopping the shit with us about this very specific topic, turn into like some weak, old, fragile mantic, like VC smart mode, all caps. And
Right.
fucking lying about people that you've been in cool with in spaces for 2 years. It was just kind of sad to see, because I had this vision of you like he's done with the government. Like I have, and I was already riding high from the clip of the not no but hell no. You know what I mean? The not no but hell no clip. And then to have that to be like, oh my god, actually no, it was you AI. Actually no, it wasn't. It was this guy video no one's ever heard of. Yeah, no.
Bro, they probably
sad,
pushed
bro.
up on you, Red. They probably pushed up on you.
Sad, bro.
Probably my ass. They definitely pushed up on him. No one goes and changes their story that abruptly, that much, without being motivated to do so. And he wouldn't be the first person.
Is he a victim right now? That's is it still maybe a possibility of Doty blink if you need help, or is it he's been with the gang, he's part of the gang, he's with the crew?
He's gang.
He's gang. Okay, yeah.
Part of the
Okay.
gang. Part of the gang.
Yeah, I think it would be,
Well,
He's loose lips sink ships.
that did
yeah, man,
happen.
I didn't even follow Doty, and I've just checked now, and he's just blocked me, I think, for what I just said.
Oh, he just blocked you?
And he only,
He blocked me.
yeah,
He probably
and-
blocked
and-
me too.
I mean, I see Doty as a listener still. I haven't seen him leave.
I see Doty as a listener as well. I
Doty.
just want to say, Panda, I know that you're like all fired up, so you're in your feelings, which is totally fine and valid, right? But I just wanted to say, I'm not surprised that like after he said these things, right, regardless of the wording that he used, information did come out, right? And so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and honestly,
that
I'm kind of
after
grateful.
that revelation kind
Yeah.
of came out, that people would go to him and be like, oh look, they're AIing this, or like check this out, check that out. Like I could see people.
Well, and I'm
maybe
kind of
wanting
grateful for that too, right?
to
Because what does
find
that
out
tell?
about that after he's talking about Lou? Maybe,
What does that
because
tell
there's
everyone
people
about
out
the
there.
flow of information in this space, right? We've known Doty for 2+ years in these spaces, never seen an episode like that. Ever. Tupa, have you ever seen an episode like that with Doty? Isn't he always like calm, cool, collected? You know what I mean?
Not with Doty, no. And someone like, it's not even like a secret. Right? I think he even said this much. Someone hit him up and spun him around.
Got him worked up, but then also in unison having this fake AI story with Rob Heatherly. What does that tell you? You know what I mean?
Well, that
Are you
tells
sure it's
hold on.
fake?
That tells
Are
me
you
that
sure that there's no Gaia? Sorry, I'll be quiet.
That tells me that it was Elizondo. That's what that tells
Yeah,
me.
man.
There's nothing else you can conclude. Okay.
Doty said he doesn't believe Jake Barber at all. Never seen Doty at a flip flop, and you know what I mean.
I would never listen to Doty's opinion on Barber or on anyone else, really, because I mean it's all you never know, and you never know what they're.
But I'm just saying he could say something about Barber that he's a disinfo agent, 0 fucks. He could say Jason Sands is full of shit, 0 fucks. He said something about Lou Elizondo that's probably factual, and then this fire gets lit, and now there's this weird manic episode and accusing people that you've been cool with of crimes.
Also, doesn't it kind of suggest? I mean, this is a light suggestion, but it kind of suggests that the fact that he said it and then you shared it, that could be another triggering factor. Is like, hey, let's not get. Well, we don't want Red to have more ammunition. We don't want these guys to have more ammunition to do with their.
Well, the thing is, too, even after all the bullshit, once he realized that shit wasn't AI, like he basically stood by it, and like it seems like that did happen. But like, just look at the shit. Look at the what's the word? Defense mechanism that exists when something like that happens, right? I just find that curious, being aware of that existing in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, don't you guys want to know that exists? What that exists for? What topics it doesn't exist for? What can that mechanism really do? What does that say about what everyone here thinks about UFOs? You know what I mean?
Well, I think
What our congressmen think about UFOs? You know,
it's much more
What's the goal
monitored.
here
than
tonight?
It's okay for you, Logan. Feeling a little triggered.
Can I just make a quick assessment and tell me what you guys think? If Skywatcher is at the head of the helm here with disclosure, and there's a lot of people that are skeptical like myself, and Rick Doty comes on the scene and makes himself look like a complete discredible liar, and then right after says, Skywatcher, I don't trust them. What is that going to push the community towards?
That's what I'm
Trusting
saying. Now
Skywatcher.
I'm curious about like
Trusting
what
Skywatcher more. It's gonna make the community say, oh well, if he says that Skywatcher is not trustworthy, we're gonna trust him more. That could be the psyop. It might not. I'm just saying it could be.
Did he say not to trust
It could mean Jonathan's a
Skywatcher?
psyop.
Is that a quote?
I think he said something and I think he said something similar to what Big Chet said, which we'll get into too. But what do you think, Kent?
I got to wait for this car to go past. I'll come back in a minute.
Okay, and I kind of want to dance back between the Doty situation and God bless you, Doty, and again the
So,
history.
like,
Well,
hold on,
Panda,
with like the Doty
Panda.
thing. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Well,
Kent.
I mean, Lou was just on 60 Minutes, so I would suggest.
I think that's a
and I
month
can't
old,
speak
right?
for- So, well, I watched the whole episode and I thought it was very interesting, even though you know me, I'm not a big Lou fan. But what I was going to suggest was no matter who it was that contacted Rick would have to be careful. It's like going into an ice cream store where everyone's got a different flavor and all the different groups have got all their different flavors, but no one wants to stop you liking ice cream. So if you attack Lou too much, it's going to discredit all the good work that was done by 60 Minutes. And whether you like Lou or not, the stuff that was on 60 Minutes was stuff the public needs to hear. So I just think I would be quite understanding if Rick was sort of given a direction to say, hey, listen, you can say what you like, but if you go calling Lou a disinfo agent or saying that he hired you to do disinfo, unless that's 100% correct and you can prove it, it's probably not a good idea to talk about it. It's probably a good idea to walk it
But
back
also,
and
Kent,
just
it's one
keep
thing
it.
to say that, but then it's another thing to, in unison, falsely accuse people of AI manipulation, right? That's like a whole nother level. That's like
Yeah,
coordination,
look,
that's
hey,
deception, that's knowingly lying publicly about someone you know.
Yeah, all
And
I'm
I'm trying
saying
to
is,
be, I'm not trying to be dramatic. But let's just imagine it's anyone. Let's imagine it's Fred Rogers, right? Like, okay, this person did that. Like, can you believe anything they say? Is next time is it going to be that person has CP on their computer and they're going to ride with that fucking lie about someone unless there's evidence to fucking prove them right, and then they have to redo their story, like, you know.
But look at the lie that it was. It wasn't a huge lie, was it?
To falsely
Yeah,
accuse people of AI manipulation over a very explosive quote about a huge figure. I think
Well,
it's a big
he
lie.
did apologize for that. What I'm hearing from you is that you're not so upset about that, but like you don't think that the gay AI, like the Gaia AI thing is you've never
Well, and
seen
also,
that
Ocean, I told
video,
this
and that's
I told this to
frustrating
Logan.
for
I
you.
don't necessarily believe his cover-up story that there's this Gaia video, and I think honestly, you know, he was kind of avoiding me. He said that thing to me about like, do you even know what a link is? I'm not trying to fucking talk shit or stir shit with you and Logan, but like, if I saw somebody acting like that towards somebody who could potentially call them out, and then I saw them like love bombing me, like, what does that say about me? Like, he wants you to believe that there's this guy video that I don't think exists, right? He said it super happily, like a smile, like a sweet old man, like he does all his other stories. I feel like everyone he's telling that to, knowing it's a lie, he's thinking less of. Does that make sense? Like, is it a disrespect to like expect us to, or is it just like?
But you are painting it that kind of way because you have your feelings hurt, right? You kind of have a certain kind of feeling towards him at the moment because you're not happy.
But still,
people shouldn't go out of their way and make up lies about journalists and about people who are reporting shit. And if you like someone like Red is out there and has the public's ear, and you're going to accuse them even lightly of creating AI in order to frame them as something, that's going to be fucked up. I think, Red, you have every right to be upset and to be.
And it's not just a lie about me; it's a lie he's
don't
expecting everyone else to believe. Like he wants you, like it's a
But I mean,
trespass on you as a person and your integrity.
Doty is a disinformation age. He was a disinformation agent. No one expects anything less from Doty. I think the bigger story, in my opinion, is that there was a clear, organized, coordinated effort to help Doty cover this up. Someone told Doty to cover this up, to backtrack it, and then with the Rob Heatherly and all this other unified front shit, they had that presents a control mechanism.
And did you hear the parts about like the people that are monitoring spaces and all that stuff?
Oh,
and the
absolutely,
list and shit? Yeah.
What you're missing though, guys, is that he's come out and he literally said that he said, hell no, I'm not going to do that again. It's a disinformation agent. So
it's the irony.
said,
The irony of the shit he said in the initial clip that stirred all this up is not lost on me. That's what I'm saying. It's like half historical, funny, but then also like super kind of comedic. It's kind of comedic too. Is it not like that? Literally in the clip that set it all off, he's like, "I'm never gonna lie again. Like I'm done with that shit." And then like that clip leads to like some crazy lies that I've never seen from this man in the time I've known him. At least just in terms of like close to home.
Well, I mean, I don't really think you're out of the game. I don't think he's out of the game, dude. Like, you got to be. We should all be very cautious about that. And that doesn't mean you have to treat someone like an enemy or anything, or be rude to them, or you can't be cordial with them. But the grain of salt thing, it goes heavy here, and I think that people needed to always have that, the situation. Now, for Doty to be like, I said no, not only no, but hell no. Get the fuck out of here, dude. No, you didn't. You didn't say hell no, Doty. You didn't say hell no to Lou Elizondo.
To Lou, yeah. Oh,
you didn't say that. And so, like, it's this front, and this is another thing too. I don't know anyone who could have trained themselves for years in deception to go to somebody's house and have your wife meet their wife, and you're having barbecues and you're slapping the whole. Suddenly you're going to speak in truths. No, you're going to still speak in lies.
Did they actually barbecue? Is that written anywhere that
Bro,
they
fucking
that Doty?
Doty said it. Doty said
that is. You just got to with the word barbecue. That is kind of funny, or not funny, but it rhymes.
Exaggerated. But I mean, we're talking about dinners and stuff. He ingratiated himself with the target, and that requires adding a lot of real life connections. And you got to be half real, half not. And I don't think that's something you can just turn off.
Like, Logan, what if the next lie is about you and there's not evidence to prove you're wrong? You know what I mean? Are you worried about that at all now, or no?
Am I worried about it? No, I mean, I'm not really worried about like shit people say about me, which is all the time, by the way. That is untrue. That's unprovable, right? If people want to believe lies based on no evidence, that's on them.
I'm going to jump in real quick.
Go for it.
But we have this is the one of the greatest intelligence agencies in the world, and that's who we're dealing with. And they made this kind of mistake. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And Tuba, did you hear the stuff? Yeah, you heard the stuff you said about the money. Okay, let's talk about this then too, because this goes into today. And I do think we kind of learned that Lou and Doty, for better or worse, kind of are on the same team. Willing to fabricate lies about people in unison if need be. It is what it is. But then Tupa, I think that happening so close to the photo, happening so close to the news of today. Did you hear this shit about the SCIF, bro? That they're all sick, and actually
they're all sick with different illnesses.
So this is Morian Lerner, a Morian Lerner meme 3 years ago. We're gonna jump into the SCIF shit again for a little bit, but I'm down to hop back to the Doty thing. This SCIF has been hyped up and edged for like 3+ years by these people. No, 5+ years. Here's a meme from 3 years ago. Just listen to all the different sound bites about the SCIF, and it's actually really funny because the meme ends with like it's actually Greer in the SCIF the whole time. But let's see.
Finally enters a SCIF.
The names and titles of the people with direct firsthand knowledge and access to some of these crash retrieval programs, and maybe which facilities, military bases the recovered material would be in.
I can't discuss that publicly, but I did provide that information both to the intel committees and the inspector general.
And we could get that in the SCIF if we were allowed to get in a SCIF with you. Would that be probably what you would think?
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Could receive some of that information. Those questions that Gresh was being asked, we actually wanted to talk to him prior, and again, we were denied access to that.
We were denied access to a SCIF so we could get this information. Once again, another roadblock put up.
News Nation has learned that you and your colleagues will be able to get into the classified SCIF room to look at the UAP documents that you've been trying to.
He said in some of his answers, I cannot tell you in this setting. So what he's saying is we have to go to the SCIF. And we could get that in the SCIF if we were allowed to get in a SCIF.
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
Real information, just putting it in the SCIF. It's just, we have to get him in the SCIF so he can tell us that stuff.
Sure, if you had the appropriate accesses, yeah.
All right, this is today.
And now, here's our latest Ask a Poll exclusive from your U.S. Capitol.
Hey, how'd it go, Madam Chair? So I heard we're going to get a JFK hearing on the 20th.
We do. We have some great witnesses, and also Obi and I uncovered 6 boxes of the Joe Needy files, so that could be it.
When do you think we'll get a UAP hearing?
We actually have one being noticed currently, so you guys will see all that information coming out.
What happened with this week's hearing?
Well, we have 2 SCIF briefings this week, and
Yeah.
by the way, Mellon got sick, Lou Elizondo got sick,
Yeah.
and Mr. Gresh also is not feeling well, but Gresh has been very helpful.
Yeah.
So my message is, we got the SCIF, you guys need to be here for the SCIF briefing.
Yep.
Thanks.
Awesome. Appreciate you, ma'am.
And now, back to our latest Ask a Poll exclusive from your U.S. Capitol.
How many showed up?
We had 3 in there, but 3 of our main ones were sick. So we're gonna get it back on the books and see if they show up. They had SCIF flu.
How was FBI?
Amazing. It was 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
You could just, I
Give you
literally.
more directions.
Hey, I was gonna tell them in regards to our FBI SCIF interview, 10 out of 10 makes us reconsider Arrow.
You guys need to make this.
Tupa, what do you think about that? First off, what do you think about them getting sick, and then what do you think of her response to it?
The sickness is fake. They're fucking lying, and she needs to be honest about that. The issue right off the bat is that Matt Laszlo continues to aim his mic at the fucking street. Like, you're getting money, dude. Like, we can donate money to you. Your haircut. Stop getting haircut. Get
No, stop,
haircuts.
stop. We love Matt Laszlo here. Matt
Aim
Laszlo.
the fucking microphone at their face. Aim it at their face. When someone is talking, you aim the microphone at their face. You're in a building with that's crazy. You're rushing and trying to get audio from individuals who are going from building to building in downtown DC. You got like fucking cars going by.
No, we love Matt Laszlo, but hey,
dude,
if you need to make a GoFundMe for a boom box or a boom mic or something like that, I will gladly donate to that
DM me.
GoFundMe.
I will tell you which ones to get. Like, these are big scoops, and this is important information, right? So that's number one. Number two, this whole idea of like SCIF flu, yeah, no, something's going on, right? Something is.
I think that's her calling them out. She's making light of the fact that they all. She knows something is up. I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. And this whole idea of like, they wanted a SCIF and we got it. Like, where are they? They need to show up for it. Lou's in Oregon right now
With thousands of fans.
Yeah, thousands of fans. Cracking open, the beers and shit like that, living it up, which he should be. That's great.
So
but,
you think they are actively lying? The 3 of them are lying when they
Yeah.
say they're sick. Okay, wow.
Okay, because here's the fact, right? You could have predicted that. I predicted this would happen the second he showed that image.
Oh shit! You think
And
the
so
image is why they?
why-
Okay.
Well, why have all of my predictions come true?
Oh,
Meanwhile,
shit.
they keep denying every one of them. This isn't happening. It's not what you think. Oh yeah, this is the 5th consecutive thing that's happened. That's not what I think. It's over. It's over. They have to calibrate. They have to readjust. They have to realign. They have to go back to the drawing board. They need to get this dude out of the situation, and they can't. They can't get Lou out. Lou's buying time. Maybe they're buying time. Who knows what's going on? But their attempts to cover it up with like, oh, it's the flu, and we got to figure this out. And he just.
Well,
took
that's
some
what I
time off.
wonder. Is it connected to this Alejandro Rojas, this fucking
Yes.
Kelly Chase
Yes.
shift? Is it
There's no
connected?
way it's not.
People are gonna say we're narcissists, but people were pointing out in the comments, the FBI was there. Maybe they thought it was some kind of sting. Who knows? What's up?
That would
Quick
be so
question.
crazy.
We just got back home from go-karting with the kids. It was a lot of
Oh
fun.
hell yeah! Fuck yeah!
Yeah, Ben is the quickest out of everybody. Anyway, so isn't Lou Elizondo at some event in Oregon right now?
Yeah, his
Or-
latest from Ivan Handel up in the nest. Tens of thousands of fans and attendees to this terrific festival. Lou gets mobbed, but makes time for everyone. Super spreader
Isn't Lou
Lou.
sick, though? Too sick to attend a SCIF with Grush?
It is pretty funny that the audio drops the same day that he's out there with a bunch of fans. Like, you can't write this shit, bro.
He has no mask on or anything. He's just out there raw dogging it with the fans.
One of the fans is even in a fucking wheelchair, yo. One of them is in a wheelchair, like already sick.
Hand on Lou because he's underneath them.
So you're not buying it either, Heather? You think they're lying? And so too, but you think they're lying. So you think if there was no
Yes.
photo op debacle that they wouldn't have done this? Because they've been hyping it up for so fucking long.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is a death blow to their entire operation, and everyone knows it. The people, you can feel it. They're in denial. What they're trying to do is they're trying to bide their time so they can successfully leapfrog to another spokesperson, right? My guess was David Grush. They needed to leapfrog to him very quickly, and they needed to abandon Lou Elizondo without shaming him or causing a scandal. Because if they shame him and cause a scandal and expose him for being a liar, then now all of their credibility goes under, and the whole credibility of the UAP disclosure movement goes under as well. So they don't need to abandon ship. They just need to leapfrog to the next one, which is what they've been doing for a while. Now, when they get to the next one, then they're good. But what Doty did, in my opinion, when he said, now this is where
That's what I'm saying. I think it's all connected. Is it all connected or no? I'm psycho
Yes,
brain, but
because
it's all
when
connected to me too.
When Doty said that he was almost recruited by Elizondo to work for disinformation for Space Force, my mind goes, well, didn't hasn't Lou said multiple times that he worked with David Grush in Space Force?
Yes.
So then now we can't leapfrog in a clean way to David Grush, because now we have connective tissue between the guy we're supposed to leave behind and this dude through Space Force, a completely tax-funded thing. It's all recorded.
And look at Tuba. Look at I think they're kind of similar. That picture, like what the follow to that, and look at, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just because it's about me, blah blah blah, and it's funny. Like, look at what Doty. Look at the fire that was lit under Doty around that piece of information going public. Right? What was the information? The Space Force thing. And now there's, like Tuba said, the implication of Grush. I think I've never seen Doty act like that about anything. When that photo dropped, I didn't see a fire lit under Doty's ass like that about anything. You know what I mean? But we did for that. So I do think that piece of information for that group getting out, I think, did factor into like some of their shit this week, at least. You know.
And what about Lou's apology? Right? That was kind of uncharacteristic, right? Even though he delivered it in a very Lou way, right? He had to do a cleanup job, and it sounded like he was talking to the UAPDF board, not to the public. You know what I mean? He was, and there's like there's consequences to this, right? Showing a fake picture as a guy who's claiming to be the government's UFO hunter is the same thing as a teen heartthrob, you know, beating. Well, I guess Chris Brown's still successful, but you know what I'm saying? Like, something like that can totally ruin someone's career, and it has before. People you forgot about, you know, like, I mean, because that's just what happens. This is equivalent to that, right? Because it's such a mask off moment. The guy, the pinnacle, the tip of the spear, the guy, everyone's vouched for him, and he can't determine a irrigation circle from a UFO. He's over here calling, you know, things motherships and stuff. He sounds like a true believer without any discernment or skill or experience, which would make him a liar. And so, you know, that's an inconvenient truth that we all have.
Oh, and also another data point on that information getting out, like totally even separate of like what Doty did and the way he lied about me, cries, and that within an hour he was able to have a conversation with someone that made him do this lying with Lou. Is those guys from the UK hit me up too, and they were getting hit up by a lot of people about that clip. And Stephen Greer even hit them up about that clip specifically. You know what I mean? This kind of like, they're kind of small. I mean, they're kind of big on TikTok, but not even that big on TikTok. You know what I mean? And once that clip went viral, Stephen Greer saw it and is now in their DMs. You know what I mean?
That makes sense, man. Because Stephen Greer
and others were hitting them up too. You know what I mean?
Greer told multiple people recently that Elizondo was a disinfo agent. And so for him to get confirmation from Doty himself is
and not just that too. That's one of the things he's most likely to throw his lawyer around for, is that little like sentence. Remember, that's the clip of Stephen Greer saying basically the same thing Doty said is what made homeboy comment under my thing, like, oh, you could be getting sued for republication of false information. Like, it's a sensitive topic for them.
I remember that. You're right.
It's funny that, yeah, that little piece of information had two weird little brush ups with Lou about, one of them via Doty.
Don't forget what Lou said, though. Lou said, I'm not a UFO guy, and he ended it with, nor will I ever be. That was the thing I keep on reminding myself of when I listen to Lou. He said, I was hired to provide my skills to the UFO community, counterintelligence, counterinsurgency. I'm not a UFO guy, nor will I ever be. Now, if he's saying nor will I ever be, that's a little bit hard to add to I'm the disclosure guy, isn't it?
Yes. Great point. Use his own words there, right? If that's how he's describing himself, then how has he ever been considered a guy who's gonna
there's so many
truth guy?
There's so many knocks. You gotta put it into perspective, the foundation that's building him up, right? Like, there's the fucking Guantanamo knock, there's the terrorist in the astral, like literal psychic powers. There's the hate group shit that's very obvious and clear for anyone who like just wants to even look for a second. There's the fake photos, you know what I mean? Why is there the system around him? Why is Doty having a manic episode? Because of the system that exists to surround and inoculate this man from any kind of like
dissemination of a preconceived narrative designed to ensure that as disclosure is channeled out to the public, it's channeled out in such a way that people will draw the conclusions that they want drawn.
Like, if a random account came in here and said, I have psychic powers and psychically made angels appear and shake the bed of someone, and if they said, you know, I've been seeing orbs every other day for 5 years, but I never took a photo, and if they said all this other crazy shit, people would be like, that's dumb. Like, okay, like, I don't even believe you. But for this guy and his lies, there's this weirdo fucking system, dude.
Can I just bring up one follow through and logic that makes me believe Matt Brown more and makes me believe Doty less. And I have gotten a block for I don't know why I haven't posted a single damn thing about Doty, and I've been blocked now. But what doesn't make sense is like your job. Let's say you're
Wait, you got blocked?
Yeah,
When did you get blocked?
I have no idea, but I checked once he entered the room, and it says he blocked me. So I don't know what
No,
I
because
did.
that's another thing though too. I think worth noting is I've been hit up by a few people who were blocked that night, and it was kind of an interesting list. Some people who've never they've never spoken about Doty or that they never commented about Doty ever. You know, so keeping a little tally on the other end of like what this list looks like, I think is just kind of worth noting. Just for like, it's all kind of irregular and it doesn't matter really, but just like, okay, these people are making lists for Doty and who's on it, who's not, why is that person on it, why are they not?
Well,
But yeah, so sorry.
I stayed on the space the whole rest of the time last night, or maybe it was like the night before. But I stayed on the whole entire rest of the space, just so I can ask him a few questions about like my own anecdotal experiences. You know, like just that I had that has got me to this field anyway. And he blew those off. So like that was going to be
Well,
it.
if you want to, he's here. If he's listening, you could probably ask him. You know,
It was about
unblock flag magnet.
quantum computing and plasmas and things like
He has
that.
no hard
So it would
feelings
have been
about you
more-
lying about me and the UK people. I'm not saying that you have to. It was making a
I
joke,
don't
honestly.
care enough. Like
No, I don't want. I'm not. I want to be clear. I'm not saying anyone don't fucking talk to Doty. I was just making a joke about the
No, I
situation.
know what, but I've got blocked now, so like it's out of my hands. You know what I mean? I don't care either way. But my thing is, all right. So now look at Matt Brown.
Unblock
'Cause
him, Doty.
we talked about this the other day. How Matt Brown, like he was told what to do if he finds things in the wrong place, and it shouldn't be in the wrong place. He's supposed to report it, and then it immediately went cold. So he did it a few times, and like it went against his morality to not do his job properly. And I just want to point that out. Like that's a good person who will, to their own detriment, follow the rules. Okay, so now he does.
So we got to be concerned about who's giving him the orders, right? What if it's a
well
bad character?
This is weird because he brought up this yesterday too. Because like I have had law enforcement family in the military. So you have a line of command, like right, like you don't go outside of the line of command. You go to your higher up. You don't go above him. You don't go around any of these people because you get reprimanded, right? But if your job is to find anomalies in like files, because that's what we're assuming that he was doing, was finding misplaced files that shouldn't be where they are. So he does this. He finds misplaced files, and then the everything breaks after that. None of the other things that are supposed to happen. So that's where we know that, like, at least logically, that's how you're supposed to do your job. That's what you get paid for, and that's what Doty also said was his job. He did that shit with Benowitz because he was just doing his job. That's what he said. So where in
Well, and that's why too. I have a personal curiosity, right? Because I was obviously lied about. I want to know, like, who's the motherfucker that really gave this order, right? Was it actually Lou? Was it Hal? Was it someone above? Like, who's the person calling these shots in this narrative right now? I just like knowing that, and it's like I want UFO truth. I don't think it's fucking crime to want to know the source of flow of information.
Well, that's the other thing. We are as amateurs, without like any governmental clearances, anything like that. Just as amateurs, we're meant to be this paranoid and parse through every bit of information that we get and scrutinize the hell out of it. That's just how we are. That's how paranoid we're supposed to be in the most ridiculed field possible, ufology. So when any of these like this is also the other thing, military. You're going to be that soft-skinned that a couple of comments online. This is not a real attack. You're not being chased with guns from enemy fired. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, no. Like I said, it's
words that
honestly
they're
more funny
crying
than
about.
anything. But I do care about the information.
You know, that's
flow.
all I really had to say. But it's just a grown men crying about words on the internet. I was raised so much tougher than that shit. You know.
Wait, what is grown men crying about words on the internet?
Doty, basically bitching about everything that has happened and blocking people randomly over words on the internet. I didn't attack him, and I got a block, so that I'm coming pretty biased.
And now it's on, dude.
He's trained. You know, this is how you train a dog. He's trained. Okay,
You ain't training me. I'm fucking
we're all being
feral.
trained. We're all being trained. This is exactly what's going on, and you know it, right? Whether or not you're involved or you're being trained or not, the blocking is punishment. That's punishment.
How dare you
Punishment
even
for
be in a
bad-
space of mine?
for bad behavior. That's how.
And I didn't
we're
do anything
gifted.
wrong. I literally clipped him and what he said.
There's something wrong with that. I will block you because you know what I mean. You know, like Doty's like kind of like he's big shit. He's like one of the only guys that actually has experience. He's listened to a lot, and for him to announce that he's going to block you for not abiding and starting to block people, that's just training. It's just
And again, for something that was a lie, right? Like I didn't AI anything.
Well, I don't.
Like-
If I could jump in really quick, I just want to say he did walk it back, and he did apologize to the guys in the UK and to you. And I don't think
He didn't apologize to me.
I don't think he accused you directly of making the AI, did he? But he did block a bunch of people, and he thought that they were like involved, like I don't know, with it or with the sharing of it. But I don't think he accused you of doing the actual like duping, right? But I don't know.
He commented on the video that caused all the.
But my hand was up.
He
'cause
didn't
somebody-
apologize. Continue.
Did he? Are you still? Did he unblock you? Right? He gave you a little unblock at least, right? Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm not even crying about it either, but just for the record, like he did
Okay.
overtly
All
say
right.
to the UK
Well,
guys, but not me.
And then the whole like being asked to do like the counterintelligence work and like you
Which
guys
also I
were-
think shows that he was pissed about the clip I posted, right?
You were
Like-
talking about Gresh, and what came to my mind is like I'm kind of hoping that Gresh was working there with counterintelligence in one way or another because of how he was doxxed online. Like, how perfect would that be that like the dude that's out there looking for threats is the one that gets like targeted by these crazy people? So like low key, I kind of hope that like.
Well, also, Ocean, what do you
was a
think
thing.
about, who knows what this group? You remember you heard the clip of what Screen asked about the group monitoring spaces. You know what I mean? They're here monitoring, like they saw everything that happened to you. You know what I mean? They know exactly probably who King Milkfart is and these connections, and they didn't do anything about it.
I would bet that there's surveillance happening, everywhere from every country probably has their own.
If
form
anything, the
of
only thing we've
surveillance.
seen Doty's little arm of that group do is make up lies about people when shit got hot for some fat Cuban guy. You know what I mean? He never said that group never fucking helped you out with any of the shit you went through, right? He's your friend though, but whatever. This when it comes to Matt Brown, I think this is the clip I always think people need to just keep in mind.
But it looked like he got to Congress, was saying the right things, and Congress was going to do something about it.
Momentum.
There was momentum. And, at that time, I was already in talks to go talk to Congress. Just at that point, not so much out of fear and desperation, just as they're asking for people. It seems like they need it.
Right.
No matter how small, it seems like it's important. So, and this person told me it was important. This person I met with one-on-one. I told them about this USAP, which at the time, still to myself, I was like, I don't know if it's real or not.
Mm-hmm.
You say you've been to Congress and you know these things firsthand. Like, is this it? He said it was.
He was unsure about this, and these people were asking about the document, I guess, or whatever, his memory of it. I just think that's worth noting. He wasn't like, like he had to be affirmed by this person that they also saw it and knew about it too. I just think it's kind of worth noting about him.
About this USAP, which at the time, still to myself, I was like, I don't know if it's real or not.
Mm-hmm.
You say you've been to Congress and you know these things firsthand. Like, is this it? He said it was.
Mm-hmm.
So have those interactions that we've already been over. Where do things start going for me? What's the phrase here? More serious.
Mm-hmm.
Is after Congress, after speaking to Congress as a whistleblower, I continued to interact with this person who was trying, or at least they told me they were trying to start a fund for whistleblowers to help get people out of the legacy program who wanted to speak but couldn't because.
Again, I just think it's worth noting with him is that this guy was not really that confident of this document, and he had to be reaffirmed by some outside party who is also making a fund for whistleblowers and told them that they speak to Congress and has also seen that document or knows that name and knows it's real. I just think, I care about information flow, probably too much. Yeah. But Tuba, what did you think about the thing I had said earlier about, because do you remember that what he had said about the group thing? Should I play that clip? Were you here for that at all or no?
Hey Panda, do you have that thing like you said Doty accused you of like the whole AI thing? Like, do you have like that screenshot?
I have there's like two screenshots, and one of them is directly under the video I posted. And the UK TikTokers also felt that they were accused of it, and then when we were all blocked in your space, it's kind of more confirmation because he says he's going to block the people behind it.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I mean, it's just probably got to block whoever he wants to block, I guess. But
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't remember directly seeing him like accuse you directly of a.
Well, no,
AI thing.
the blocks were the insinuation. You know what I mean? Like, it was insinuated that everyone who received a block was somehow on the list of perpetrators, which he kind of walked back a little bit. And to Ocean, like, I agree with a lot of the things you say. The only problem that I have is like, why apologize for the thing and then immediately do it after? You know, it doesn't follow a pattern of honesty.
And also, doesn't it show a level of disrespect that they're expecting you to believe this lie? Like, that's what I don't know. Like, if someone's lying out, like if someone's lying to my face, it makes me go like, what? Like, oh, you just don't fucking, you think I'm stupid, and
Well,
you
I don't know.
expect me to
Like, and I'm not trying to like be defensive or one way or another. I'm just trying to offer a different perspective. Like, my perspective is like, if somebody came up to him and was like, "Oh, look, like these people are like making AI of you. Check this out," and showed him a video or whatever. Like, you know, then like I could see him being like, "What the heck?" and blocking a bunch of people. Like, to me, that doesn't.
But did that
seem
happen?
Like,
Yeah, and Doty, if
unreasonable, right?
by all
Did that happen,
means,
though?
if that might have happened, we are more than happy to help you go through it and see it. But if you don't want us anywhere near this information and who gave it to you and all that shit, I totally get it. Go for it. Like, they lied about it and spread fake shit to you, but I'm more than happy to help you.
Like,
People
maybe
always
we
say,
could
I got
settle
this
a.
from somebody else, and then they won't say who they got it from. How many times have we heard somebody come in completely passionate, aggressive, standing
Spun
on
up,
business
cracked
and
out.
principles, totally spun up, and what they're presenting is an argument against something that doesn't exist, and you find out that they were misinformed from someone they were DM'd about.
Spun up, cracked out, actively lying about motherfuckers.
Every time, bro. And then I'm always like, well, who the fuck was it? And they'll always say, like, they know who they are. And it's like, guys, if this is happening, 10, 12 times, are they the same people? Can we start to look at who these people are? Can you guys start to talk about who this is? Because I have DMs. I have reports of who I think it is. I've mentioned their names many times. And I'm sure there's other players that people just don't talk about. I'm sure there's people who you think are your friends, but they hit you up and it's always about somebody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some of this shit is just super fucking weird. And like, it happens all the time. I'm not saying that, Doty is over here conspiring some crazy, not at all. No. What it looks like is that he said something that really happened. He wasn't aware that he couldn't do it. The leapfrogging thing might have been something he was kept out of, right? There's all kinds of things that go on in people's lives.
I honestly appreciate it because it showed us, like, it's funny, kind of had the inverse effect, I think. It showed us how important that info was. And showed us how the mechanism works that protects Lou Elizondo.
And then these guys are the ones who create the urgency in people like Doty and whoever else gets spun up, because that happens all the time. And that urgency gets pushed on them. The aggression, they always play on the people's weaknesses, right? They always play on their like, did you know that Red was doing this? And then whatever the person is the biggest fear, they'll always pull that up. And that's what they do. And Klaus said, a year or two ago, that there was an AI thing of his.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Logan? Because he said that about both of us too. That Doty's fake accusation mirrored Klaus and Ray's fake accusation against us 2 years ago. Do you think is that just something people throw around now that we're in the AI era, or is that like a playbook that people use that has been used?
What was happening exactly? Like
2 years ago, Klaus and Ray, and it's kind of real, and there's some like Lou podcaster people. They falsely accused us of AIing Ray's voice and shit. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
And all that was that there was clips of her going around saying that she weaponized King Milkfart. And so that was her saying it in a space. And some of this stuff. So like
that was her lose word for Space Force.
It's a known tactic for these people, last ditch effort to be like, and that matches also Biden's old press secretary, right? It was a deep fake. These deep fakes that are being shared. It's like, no, this motherfucker look like he shit his pants, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
Dude, when I played, Kumar, the Indian guy, the first time I ever played him his own voice back to him, it was like one of the best days of his life. He was like, "I will never be blamed for anything ever again. I can just say it was AI generated or whatever." That was good times.
And because Tuba's finally here, we're gonna beat a fucking dead horse. We're gonna listen to my question to Doty again. Tuba, I wish you were here. Sorry to people. You're more than free to leave, people, but we are gonna beat dead horse here because it is funny that he was like, you know what Link is? Okay.
Manipulate his mind through consciousness and bring him down to the ground. Just explain how. They're not getting as much publicity as the Jake Barber group, but they are in fact.
There's a lot of
That last night on the space, I told a story about Lou Elizondo at because yeah, we had that nice space with Astral. We kind of talking about it. Then at about 9 p.m., you said last night on the space, I told a story about Lou Elizondo asking me to work for Space Force.
And again, that's relevant because we were talking about that exact story for an hour and a half. He had no accusations of AI manipulation within an hour. Now he's talking.
Within the counterintelligence office, I declined his offer. At no time did I make a statement that Lou wanted me to work as a disinformation agent for Space Force against the public. That is a complete lie. Those who posted that video and those who made the AI of me are now blocked by me. I will not tolerate any untruths told about me. I've received over 200 emails, DMs from people asking about my statement. I told the same story on the Thomas Bessler show in August. So this was about the Gaia video, which I haven't seen, by the way, and I haven't talked to anyone who's actually seen.
Still no one to this day has seen that.
But this is you were getting a bunch of heat about the Gaia video or the video from the TikTok interview.
Well, I thought it was one, but it was actually the other, because the Gaia video, a person sent me a DM with a link to that video. And so I clicked on the link and it was the Gaia interview. And the Gaia is where I immediately determined was faked or dubbed, because they mentioned Space Command, and I would never do that. I know I was in the Air Force. I mean, I know the difference between the different branches. And
so the Space Force and Space Command switch up is why the all caps.
I actually have a relative in the Space Force right now. So I mean, and then I sent it to Gaia, and Gaia said, "Yeah, it's bullshit." And so
was that on X publicly when it was sent to you?
I don't know where it was. He sent me the link. You understand what a link is, right?
Yeah, so it might have actually taken you off X.
And he was tripped up there because I caught him there in a little bit of a lie. Because in his follow-up post 5 hours later, after listening to me and the UK guys in the space where he was actively blocking us, he said, the video I referred to was the Gaia interview where I spoke about Elizondo. My voice was clearly dubbed since I have access to original recording I made at Gaia. That video was sent to me and is now taken down, but it was viewed by 10,000 people, according to X. I reported this to Gaia and X. The list of people sent to me by a source who told me the people on that list was probably responsible. I blocked everyone on that list. When the real culprits are found, I'll unblock those. But he said it was viewed by 10,000 people on X already, and I think that's why, because again, like I said, it's kind of all annoying and dumb anyways, but should be an innocuous question, but I do think that the whole, what a link is was kind of like a little bit of a defensive response, like, why, yeah, duh, I know what a link is.
When it was sent to you?
Well, hold on. That's obvious, though. There's there's no nuance there. Him saying that, you know what a link is, right? That's absolutely defensive. He is, and was being defensive there. It's interesting. It's good that Doty comes into spaces and actually talks, and he's able to be questioned, and he gives answers. It's awesome.
That's especially cool.
Regardless, he was given information. I think he should reveal who that was, and it's going to reveal what we've been looking at, what Kelly Chase has been talking about, and what possibly what Alejandro Rojas was talking
about. And because, let's go with Ocean's prerogative and narrative here. Let's say Doty's totally innocent, right? He was then given false information, right? Because me and the TikToker guys were blocked to the point where he had to apologize to the TikToker guys because these guys who are so good at data collection gave you wrong info, right?
Maybe. I've got one suggestion.
I gotta drop out real quick, so I'll just say real quick. I think that he said that stuff, which was true. He, should have said counterintelligence instead of disinformation. He explained that later, and then somebody came to him with this video. That's my take, and I think resolution moving forward. I think working together to figure out who actually dubbed that video, figure out who did the AI thing, and I think that. And maybe asking him who sent him that might reveal some information too if he's willing to share. But I think working together to figure out what actually happened is a good thing because.
But for a little bit longer, we're going to be good horse. Thank you. God bless you.
It's bullshit, and so.
Was that on X publicly when it was sent to you?
I don't know where it was. He sent me the link. You understand what a link is, right?
Yeah, so it might have actually taken you off X, probably.
I clicked on that link, and I got the YouTube video of this.
Okay, so it was on YouTube.
I don't know. I don't know. It could very well have been on X2. I don't know.
He said it was viewed by 10,000 people on X.
I've been too busy doing other things, trying to get other things off X. But it very obviously other people have seen it because they sent it to me. So
Okay, cool.
obviously they got it from someplace else.
So with the obvious thing that he's not saying, right, is that whoever sent it to him made it, right? That's the obvious thing. And that's what he's not saying. He's not saying, he's like, no. They sent it to me. It exists. Someone else must have made it. You know, well, guess what? No one else on the planet has ever fucking seen it. So it's most likely the person who sent it to him is the fucking person who made it. Now it becomes important who sent it to him.
Exactly.
Who sent it to him? Because there's no other answer. Unless, because how else would the fucking guy have it to send to Doty?
Because maybe Doty didn't actively lie. Maybe he actually was misled, but if not, he actually actively lied.
10,000 views, Red? 10,000 views? Listen, man, was it a fake screen grab or something? How do you even get the fake view count? How do you present that information? You have to really work hard.
We're autistic, Doty.
Yeah.
We're autistic about
let
it,
me show you my level of autism. If I can just raise the autistic bar slightly. Does anybody play poker?
All right. No, go shoot.
All right. Well, he's got a big tell, and you brought something up with the oh man.
You know what the link is? Is that the tell?
No. His tell is every time he stutters, he's telling you a lie. I figured it out. Just listen to anytime he mentions Space Force, and in something he doesn't want to go back into, he will stutter and confuse you by telling you 10 different things. Just listen to that.
And this kind of like the logistics of this kind of block list you got and these people who were helping you out. Because I know that I got blocked, you know, thank you for unblocking me, and the TikTokers got blocked from the UK. Was this the same people who sent you the video initially, or like how did they determine, like how did the TikTokers end up getting blocked, you know, in this situation? Were they on that list from these people?
There were a lot of people on this list, and I didn't actually. Initially I was going to block everybody, but then I went through. I didn't. Others assisted me. Okay, and they found that, oh, you know what, this guy didn't say this, or this account, or this, however you want to call them, account didn't say this, and I made a mistake.
What Uplifting and KMF were doing with Gary Nolan.
It does.
Of thinking that maybe the TikTok video was connected, but I realized, well, after speaking exhaustingly with Gaia over this, their people, I realized that it wasn't connected. So I went back and unblocked the UK guys, and I apologized to them. I'm sorry. I jumped to conclusion thinking everything was connected, and it wasn't. So I mean, I unblocked them. So.
Okay, yeah, they were kind of worried. Did the people who sent you this kind of list, did it seem like they already had it ready to go, or was there a lot of like intelligence that went into creating it, do you think?
Well, remember, it was like an 1.5 hour time frame from the astral space to the flippin' energy manic episodes.
There's a lot to that I'm not going to go into, because there's a reason why.
That is more of an apology than you would ever get from any of the other like peers in ufology. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
it's another lie to cover up the truth, and it's not really an apology. I mean, I didn't get an apology, but he's not being honest about the whole situation. Is it an honest apology? Does it count as an apology if the apology is another lie?
It was an amorphous apology. Even Tupa pointed it out that who knows who he was apologizing to. Maybe it was his boss. Maybe it was the people who told him that
you work for Flack. Flack, you work for the agency.
Yeah, we're more about the list. Are doing this for me, and because there's a lot that people don't realize goes on in spaces. That there's a lot of algorithms in X that I'm sure a lot of people don't realize exists. And you can go in and type a name and find, 7,000 mentions of that person in any kind of postings on Twitter, on X. And these people were doing that. And they're all my fans or former colleagues. So, but what they did was they gave me examples. when I first said, what am I going to do all this? They just gave me a list. Well, I don't know. I mean, I see Logan and UFO now. I don't know who they are. And
again, either he's making it up or the list. At some point, it's not just a list. It's inclusion of fake accusations of crimes, right? That's like, it's different than just like a list, right? It's like a list and those people did AI manipulation.
Never met these people other than Eric, and maybe a couple others in this room, Brian Jackson, but I don't know who they are. And I first said, wait a minute, do you have any background on any of these people? Then they sent me the gem or the gold mine. They sent me what these people were saying about me. And that's when I, said, why should I?
How long do these people have this information?
If they're saying all these horrible things about me. And that's what happened. That's kind of the secret.
What do you think? How long did those people have this information about all these people ready to go? Do they just go into working overdrive mode in the hour that happened, or is that just always on deck for people? Why did they choose? If I was Doty, I'd say, why would they choose to show me this now? This fake info.
The more I listen, the more it sounds like he was absolutely spun up, and then like,
was he psyoped?
I don't know about psyop, but like we have evidence that there's a specific group of people who love Lou Elizondo, who like do this, right? Who will come into your shit, who can create fake documents. They create fake shit all the time, and they go in the background and they present it to people. They work really hard at doing it. We know for a fact they did it with Gary Nolan. Now, that's,
and Doty, we're more than happy to help you get to the bottom of this if you would. We're gonna do it all publicly, openly.
This is all coming. It doesn't matter. It's all coming out.
But I think his response to that is telling. Does he want to help find out who tricked him and who made you look like a fool lying, Mr. Doty?
I think he just wants his life to be a little easier. I think someone lit a fire under his ass and made his life hard because he said something that he thought he could say.
But Doty, don't we want UFO truth? Aren't you in these spaces now? You want disclosure? Like, isn't this anti-disclosure energy?
I'd like
this whole
to know
little
who's
fiasco?
out there making fake AI videos for sure. Like, I hope he investigates that at the very least. If we're not unable to help.
Ocean, hey Doty, I know you like Ocean. Ocean's down to help investigate too. Just saying.
I mean, it's not my job, but I'm sure he could find someone where it's their job to investigate that, and it'll be good.
Guys, it's all going to come out.
Let's play more about this group.
Okay, so yeah, just to let you know, I missed recycling.
Jot me down. Those are my two questions in the company.
So we've got Logan. You want to say anything, or Zim, or then if not, we'll go to UFO now. So we'll give you next, Logan, if you got anything you want to say.
Okay, hold on. Pauses. Now you're playing this audio twice the speed. I don't know what's going on.
Sorry. He's about to ask him about if he got a legal threat.
Let's stay on topic. And it sounds like we've been looping through this stuff a lot. Now, I don't want to drag Doty into some shit where it's like an all-night hate space. That's for sure what I don't want to do. I really want to be able to say this clearly. It sounds like the same people who have been going around pushing influence on podcasters and all this shit, creating fake information, fake stories behind closed doors. What I mean by that is the lie about you will spread a lot before you can have a chance to defend yourself. That's what happens. They spread lies about you using fake, fabricated evidence, and you have no chance to defend yourself. Me and Red, we found this out about us many, many times. People have come to us and said,
And if I wasn't so autistic with documentation with those UK TikTokers, would they have just kept riding with it? You know what I mean? Would there have been this weird fake Gaia rebound 5 hours later if we didn't? You know what I mean?
That's the thing, is that what it looks like is like, he said the thing and that's whatever. But saying it now with your eyes and other eyes on it is a big problem. That's the issue, is what it seems like. And I think they're trying to make Doty's life hell because of it. And
Feel for you.
For him.
I literally told him before any of this should happen, like, hey, after that shit you said, they're gonna fuck with you. We got your back. I can find that. I need to find that clip.
He had to make very bold statements. Then he had to walk them back. And the reason why he made the bold statements was because he was probably gassed up by this crew who were showing him bullshit or trumped up shit. And so he comes out hot, realizes, I got to probably dial that back. So basically, when you're getting used that way, your emotions are getting played against you. So you make big public statements and then you got to walk them back, all because someone came and kind of gassed you up. That's manipulation. Like that's exactly what it seems like will happen. So I feel for Doty. I hope that he looks into who gave him that stuff, and if he wants to know You know what I mean? Who I know probably did it. If it matches these other names, then great.
Well, here's a little bit more about the list of the people. I think it's worth knowing. This is the part that B found very interesting. Let's see.
A couple of people where I'm like getting their backstories, and you know, I have like little triggers and things that I notice that pop up, you know, time and time again. And one of them that I've noticed recently is the advanced working group reaching out to people as soon as they kind of get a little bubbling or, you know, get some popularity. Maybe you can't reveal like, you know, methods, but what type of stuff like grabs the attention of the working group to make them reach out to people like that?
Within the advanced working group, we have a pretty sophisticated group of people that are monitor spaces. I can guarantee you there's a couple in here tonight, and TikTok and podcasts and things like that. When they find somebody that's interesting, have some kind of verifiable background as a intelligence officer or military person, and maybe have had a legitimate connection with a UAP or UFO experience, that would tend to be the type that that this particular group would go and ask and talk to, and not necessarily bring into the group, but just gather information, see if they want to have a cup of coffee and talk about their experience. And there's different approaches that we would use. I've done it. You know, being
Logan,
a former intelligence officer, we're trained to make contact with people and get them to know us, and then sit down with them on a cup of coffee or a drink and talk about their experience. And that's something they do. And
what do you think about that, Tuba?
Props to Screen for asking that question, and this idea that they're in here. The advanced working group, that name is already something that people need to analyze. When names have descriptors in them like that are meant to be like, oh, this is just prestigious.
Mystique.
It's like three guys in a fucking janitor's closet. You know what I mean? Like fucking choking themselves with a belt and looking at fucking Anton LaVey memoirs. Like, this is, you know what I mean? We got to be real about this. Let's be real about this. Like, you know, the advanced working group, watching people, it just sounds like offshoots of CIA propaganda. You know what I mean? Like deep state, fucking Scientology type shit, right? Like people's hobbies, you know what I mean? To utilize the access they have to monitor people.
And how about what I said to Ocean earlier, right? Like, you know, for better or worse, we did see this group is, again, so it's like, that sounds innocuous, right? But if you're an experiencer, don't you want to know that that group also, if you see something that you're not supposed to, and you say the truth about something that they don't want out, they'll lie about you, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of the same group, is it not?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm saying, like, you got to be aware of that. Like, they're watching you, they're going to bring you in, they're going to make you feel good. But if push comes to shove and you're in the way of something, they will more than be happy to lie about you.
Well, it's like passive aggressive losers. Like they only gain power when you pretend they're not there. When you you don't want to be inconvenienced by them, so you just kind of like are passive aggressive too. And they like, you know, it's a bad leadership brought on by, like, you know, allowed to be playing because they created an information deficit where they are in position simply by being close to something or having been hired to do something. They are now the prophets, you know, the elite, the upper class of this world that they've created of information. And
why is it so in the
information is a
secret?
currency.
Why is it not open? Why are they offshoot watching us? And if you're
Because
lucky, you
if
get
they were
picked up.
open,
Why
I
aren't they
think
just
we
in
would find
spaces
out-
open about how, hey, we like experiencers, we want to know, like, you know what I mean?
I think we'd find out how much of D&D fans they are, and how much mystique they've created about themselves. Probably like the kids of Aleister Crowley and all these other weirdos are, like, you know, masquerading as government people, and they're trying to, like, you know what I mean? They're just playing their role play is what I think is happening.
How about what I asked Ocean earlier about? They're here watching, they're monitoring.
Well, okay,
They
honestly, I
definitely
think
know. They definitely know what happened to Ocean and the shit she's been through. They didn't do really anything to help with that. But this group is willing to, when push comes to shove, lie about
You
shit.
just muted Ocean.
Who have they helped? right? Like, I don't know who they've helped. They wouldn't help Ocean. Who the fuck have they helped? What have they reached out and done? Like,
But they have lied about people.
Fuck, for sure.
That's what I'm
All they're
saying.
doing
Like,
is
just take
monitoring
note.
and then stirring up shit.
I'm not asking them to be a fucking hero for every Ocean, but like, just take note of like what they do when they don't. They're here apparently, watching everything.
Well, there's 49 covert listeners on the space. Just
How many
wanna
are
point
advanced
that out.
working group?
We got Eric Hecker in the house.
How many are gonna hit you up if you say you saw the lady in the fucking Mellow Demon space and start sending you shit? What's up? We'll go Jonathan, then Gage Rock.
Yeah, I just want to mention, because I don't know who it was that you were playing that talked about like people that want to meet up for coffee. I've literally had several people want to do that, and I vetted them, and there's only one, and I'm not going to mention their names, but there was one person who brought someone else with them who met me for that very thing. It just was literally like exactly what I've experienced. And the funny thing about them, and I'm going to say this publicly.
You said you wouldn't say it.
What?
You said you wouldn't tell anybody.
I'm not going to tell anybody their name, but I'm going to tell everyone right now like what I experienced in this meetup. Both of them had professional eyes, and I don't know how else to explain it. Like, they
Was it the Scientology like intense stare eyes? Like they're really paying attention.
Jeez, fucking Red, you fucking nailed it, man. So first of all, like they look like
The
professional
eyes.
There was something about their faces that looked very sober and very professional. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, but here's the catch. Here's the weird part.
Probably just got done auditing right after.
So
That's-
when I was making a lot of hand gestures. You know how Trump does a lot of hand gestures? I don't know why I did that night, but I was doing a lot of hand gestures. And this woman or female that I met in these spaces brought a male with her, and the male and her, but mostly the male, was looking at my hands very intently, almost like a psychiatrist would. It was super freaking weird. So whoever that person is that you recorded that mentioned that, I personally experienced that, and I have to say that dude that was with her that night that we met up, we had drinks. We didn't have coffee. We had drinks. This dude was looking at my hand gestures like very intently, and he slipped. I mean, if this is the case, he slipped because he was looking at my hand gestures so intently. It was not normal. This is not what people do. Like, normal people.
Yeah, and again, not to freak everyone out, and not to say it's all like Doty's group or anything, but I'm going to play this Strader clip again about AKA. Maybe you want to come and talk about it, because he said some other things in other spaces to elaborate on this. But this guy, remember, came out with like the Jason Sands rollout from this R-Space server of intelligence officials and came in kind of lecturing people. And I think Strader will admit he got him worked up and non-credible worked up, turned them into little attack dogs that I'd never seen before against VC Smart on some accusations of being an intel agent working the job. Mind you, this guy literally came from... What?
There's some weird interference with the microphone.
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
Louder than your voice.
Okay, here we go.
Or talked to him in person since July. But before all that, like, I used to be able to call him. I mean, I have his phone number. I have pictures of him. I know.
Mind you, this guy happened to move into his city, and then for the first time I met up for lunch was wearing like they were wearing the same shirt.
His name is. He showed me his ID. I mean, I thought we were friends. I thought we were building a relationship. And then he just fucking cut me off and decided to start playing weirdo fucking games, and then has never responded back to me, has never reached out again. And it made me feel like, what the fuck was all this about? Were you just trying to like do background on me? Were you trying to research me? You know, were you trying to see what I knew? I mean, what the fuck is the game you're playing? So I am just as confused on what he's up to as anybody else. So I don't know. I literally don't know shit.
Wow.
But yeah, I've had people try to get me to confirm his name, get me to confirm his phone number, all this shit. And I will not do it. I'm like, look, I keep my word. So I've never broken my word to AKA, but he's never responded back to me. But I have his picture. He did not like that I took his picture, but I said, oh no, I'm taking a selfie with you because I wanted to have the evidence just in case. So I've got his number. I've got his picture. you know, but I never knew where he lived. He came to my house. He knows a lot about me. So, you know, I don't want to be provoked anymore, but I had some shit happen back in January when I was going at it with the hate group and going against Lou Elizondo and talking about Amy Estridge. And I've almost not talked about this at all in an open space, but I had threats against me. I had someone enter my home, leave my garage door wide open, leave my car doors wide open when I came out the next morning. It was a very clear threat. And then when I brought it up to AKA after I met him a few months later, he told me exactly how they would have done it, which I found suspicious and mysterious. And then when he broke up with me over the internet, he made a couple, a couple jokes like, that someone might just enter your garage, John, kind of thing. So very failed.
So, I mean, again, not saying that's all part of Doty's group, but that is a self-professed intelligent who entered the community, got John spun up, moved to his town, hung out with him IRL a few times, then went off the map, and then is making weird allusions to like getting when he got broken into. Kind of weird. It's another day. Is it weird? Is that weird too, or am I just like conspiracy minded?
It's one of the weirdest things that's happened. Typically people from the internet don't just like reach out and are in your personal life.
That's
And
creepy,
so,
bro.
They're not typical. I mean, this is a very niche topic, so it stands out as a unique scenario. But also, John's behavior started to change a little bit, and he was getting spun up against other people, and this dude was like kind of strangely aggressive at times. I had no idea. Like I found out about a lot of this after the fact, and so in hindsight, I can look back on it. Like, what the fuck, dude? That was so weird. I didn't know that. But yeah, it's weird. It's a strange thing, and what's another part of it is receiving reports that these people, this working group or some of these people, they just basically have people in every state that they can reach out and touch somebody with. Just kind of show up and kind of get you back in line.
Yeah, again, I'll say it. I know it's a trust me, bro, but somebody who's interviewed Lou Elizondo called me crying, saying that she knows for a fact that Lou has people that could like be in every state. And John Strader there himself, and he's elaborated on it further that he felt all that shit happened when he started speaking out publicly against Lou. That like weirdo shit. Yeah, and he does have an interesting lineage, which which made me wonder maybe that's why he came. But the AKA thing was undoubtedly sketch. Like even before that, hearing that he was already doing kind of weirdo moves, and the way he came out with Sands at the same time, it's just like, what the fuck is really going on here? Like that guy 100% came out with Sands and like was backing him up, and like like they had a repertoire. It seemed, at least. I don't know.
Panda.
What up?
Another thing that was really weird with the Strader AKA situation was like right before AKA broke up with John, he came into a space and like did this weird ass job interview in front of everybody. It was really sus. Like he was just asking him strange questions and be like, I could probably get you a job. I don't know what the fuck was going on with that. That was odd. I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, it was weird. And again, he just came in. I think the weirdest thing is wearing the same shirt to the thing.
Also, you said John had AKA come over to his house. How often did they leave AKA in any room by himself for a period of time? Because like, have you checked your house for bugs? I'm just saying.
What's his name? AKA. He did like a lot of like LARPing or whatever. I remember like one morning he did this whole thing with me where he was like, all right, well, we can get you like a car and like a house and like pay you like your mortgage, like, and like just all kinds of like crazy shit like that. He was saying like, we'll get you like an Aston Martin and shit. Like he just said like it's like a lot of like LARPy shit like
And
that.
he did come on with already some of the pre-proved narratives about like Jerry McGowan. I think when people have emotional reactions, it's worth noting he got really emotional when the Lou Elizondo KMF leak happened for some reason. This was kind of before he went full mask off. But like he was really adamant that didn't happen. He worked up John and he moved to a city. Like that's just a lot of weird moves, guys. What kind of group or functioning thing does that? It's effort. Yeah.
And don't forget, one of the biggest things that I noticed stuck out about AKA was the fact that he used a lot of hate group terminology.
Yep, about Project J and And he was adamant that there was no connection and got really angry that one time. And then I don't know, it's just a lot. don't know what we're looking at. Who are the people monitoring spaces 24/7? Is that group connected to Doty's group, you think? Maybe, maybe not. There's probably like so many different weirdo groups around these parts.
Bunch of dumbasses out there monitoring space. Imagine that's your job. I hope we're making it entertaining for you guys. You fucking losers out there.
Right, Darren, do you at least get paid, bro?
I don't know. I think they're paying off their Scientology debt. That sounds like some low, like skilled labor. You know what I mean? You're just listening.
Oh, is Darren here? I want to get Darren's take on this whole thing.
Man, they are really earning their check if they have to listen to MySpaces. I mean, those are like fucking long, right? So I mean, goddamn,
Yes,
those guys are really earning that check.
It's a lot commitment, but you know what I mean. The Scientology stuff is very expensive, so I can absolutely see, you know what I mean, people paying that off. They're
Darren, so Darren, what's your take on this whole, the way this went down with Elizondo and Doty, and kind of learning that they kind of maybe work for the same team, or at least Doty's will bend the knee to Lou and actively lie with Lou's friends if need be.
Well, I don't think it's really bending the knee to Lou. I think it's, you know, Doty probably running off at the mouth, saying a bunch of stuff that, you know, and lying about some of the stuff that, you know, he typically kind of lies about, and, you know, getting called on it, and, you know, somebody, you know, saying, hey, you know, like, I didn't say that, you know, you probably shouldn't be saying those kind of things. And I think that's probably what happened. I don't think they're working for the same team.
Well, Doty and Lou, they don't work for the same team.
What's that?
Yeah, Doty and Lou don't work for the same team. They have like a, I think what was it, like a, they don't believe in this, I guess, the same things, I guess, for disclosure. They have a difference of opinion, I guess.
Oh, I think that's absolutely true.
Got new speakers up here. What's up, Eric Hecker and Kent? Oh no, Kent dropped down again. What do you think? What do you think, Eric Hecker? You're a whistleblower. What does this say about the flow of information that piece about Elizondo being a Space Force disinformant caused such a reaction and stir from Doty, where he was lying about people and then like having to flip flop back? You think Doty's just making it up, or does it show that they're all kind of connected on one narrative when needs be?
I was actually listening live to the X Space when Doty got jammed up and is now backpedaling. So he absolutely is currently lying about what he said to everybody, and everybody can think about the whys and wherefores. But there's something very important here, which you guys were discussing, and I wanted to engage, was that Doty stated that this advanced working group was monitoring all of the social platforms. And I would suggest that everybody consider that there's absolutely no need for them to monitor if they have no intention of manipulating. So again, I keep warning folks that things are way worse than what's being presented, because what's being presented is an operation by former operators all operating together. Another thing that Doty stated at one point in that communication on the X Space was he made some statement to the effect of, you know, oh, people make statements like, you know, once you're in the CIA or an alphabet agency, you know, you're always in it, you know, but I don't really agree with that. That's what he said. I'm paraphrasing a bit, but that's effectively what he said. But then in the same conversation, he's saying that he's with this group that's monitoring still. So, I mean, there he is caught in another lie. I mean, he himself is still operating. These other people are still operating. So for
Like,
him,
that's not normal behavior, right? To be monitoring a space that you're not actively participating in.
Well,
right?
I mean, the
Like,
working group isn't part of the CIA.
none of this is normal behavior. None of these people are not actioning anymore. Everybody's up to something. This is all shenanigans. Everything that everybody's seeing currently is a total farce. And until they realize that all these people are operating with intent to delude everybody in the disclosure community, that's their intent. Like, once you realize that is their intent, everything they're doing makes total sense. I mean, Arrow's lying. You know, people are figuring it out finally. They lied about my testimony. So, I mean, everybody's being lied to, but everybody wants to still bicker about which one of the liars is telling the most truth. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, why waste our time? This guy just hella lied. Like, what, Reverend Darren Reed, you got your hand up. What's up, sir?
Well, I think with all this information that's coming out and kind of seeing what, you know, what Doty's talking about with this, you know, working group and how they're monitoring the UFO community and things like that, like, I think this is something that, you know, we as a community, you know, really have to take, you know, we have to take this seriously, and we have to really kind of look at this and go,
Is this our buddy cop moment, Darren?
you know, is this you know, is this a group that's working against everybody, right? You know, sowing those kind of seeds of, you know, getting this to get this community to you know be what it is right now.
Tupas, Amir, is Darren kind of spitting right now? Tupa might be gone. What's up, Eric?
Keep cooking, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to say to Eric, I appreciate you joining the space and interacting with us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm curious what Eric thinks too, and also Reverend Darren Reed. The other thing we were talking about, we're kind of flip-flopping back and forth between the Doty thing and then the fact that after all these years of hype about this SCIF, Grush, Mellon, and Elizondo are all sick on the same day, and even Luna is like sounding annoyed and saying they have SCIF flu, and I think making a joke of it, acknowledging that there's. I think that her saying the SCIF flu thing means she doesn't believe them. What do you guys think about them all missing the SCIF today?
I think they're scared as shit to have to testify under oath like I already did. People don't want to get busted for being lying scumbags.
Yeah, and is your error testimony public anywhere? Is there anywhere you could read that? Or is it even on their report? What referenced?
It's my understanding it is requestable by me exclusively. I have put the request in. I have gotten 0 response from Arrow. I have put in a request from the people that were my contacts to get me into the Senate Intelligence Committee. Those same people, after I gave my testimony, told me that my testimony was going to be entered into the National Archives. I contacted them stating that I wanted that information. When I contacted them, they told me they have no idea what I'm talking about, and why would I think anybody took notes?
Oh shit, we got breaking cope from Thomas Fessler. Sorry guys, but yeah, I kind of agree with you. It seems like they're afraid of lying. The FBI's there, and it's good to hear that. Hopefully, we could read your testimony there one day, and good on you for doing that. Let's see, Toop, are you ready for this? Are you there?
Oh yeah, let's hear
We
it.
got Thomas Fessler Cope. He's going all in on the AI manipulation. He says, just
great.
An hour or 30 minutes ago. It's clearly AI. Rick's face does not deform like this when he talks. In this frame, about 1 second into the video, Rick's lips vanish from 75% of his mouth and distorts to the side of his face. This is an attack on Rick Doty and Lou Elizondo and the community as a whole.
Wait, so Thomas Fessler found the Gaia video?
No, this is about the original Lou Space Force video.
Wait a second. I'm confused. Are you Doty saying that it was the Gaia video, but Thomas Fessler saying that it's the video about Lou?
Yeah.
That's a huge discrepancy. How can they determine which is AI if they're both looking at different videos? Did Thomas Fessler and Rob Heatherly contact Doty and lie to him about this on behalf of Lou?
Maybe, but also Eric and Logan Space basically admitted that there was no fucking Gaia video, and that all the hoopla was about the video that we all know it was about the one where he says Lou
Gaia
was a space.
video is a complete lie. The entire time it is about the video in question, which is that Lou asked Doty to hop aboard Space Force as a disinfo agent, to which Doty said not only no, but hell no, and magically Grush starts working with Elizondo.
And I just threw that in the nest, by the way. If you really want to be fucking as gay as it is, UFO counterculture, just retweet it. That's the one that. Look at the fucking weirdo shit that happened because of that clip. I think that means it needs to be seen. I think they're telling us you need to see this. You know what I mean?
Called fucking a football.
The video that Doty responded to in the X space was not the Gaia clip, and it couldn't have been more clear at the time to everybody listening.
Yeah,
And
we played it like 3 or 4
right,
times in that space.
he had no gripe with the clip. He didn't question the veracity of it at all, as he responded to and gave greater clarity to his statements. There was no question in that conversation that he felt it was legitimate at the time.
Okay, so then just to go over the facts real quick, we're going to get to the hands. What we're seeing right now is Thomas Fessler and Rob Heatherly, who have very close connections to Elizondo. They're his close friends. They are blatantly lying and accusing a clip that was taken on TikTok with Doty. It was something he really said, and then actually said again in Spaces. They're saying now that that's AI. Why are Lou's friends saying that this very real clip is actually AI? Why are they making people question the reality of the clip, suggesting that Lou, or not even suggesting, blatantly laying it out? Lou asked Doty to hop aboard Space Force to help him with disinfo. Guys, this is a raw nerve.
The answer is because Doty tried to make a switcheroo as if the conversation was about that video. And great point for bringing Lou up, because did anybody notice that that's the topic we're no longer discussing now that the Doty chapter page has turned, and this is how these games are played?
It's exactly how they're played.
Are we not discussing the photo? Is that what you're talking about?
No, we're not discussing the fact that that Lou worked at Space Force as a disinfo.
Oh yeah,
that's the problem here. And then and we know that Lou has, for the last year, has been continually saying, "I worked with Grush over at Space Force. I know he's a good guy. I vouch for." You know what I mean? Like, in what capacity?
All these guys are connected. All the operators are operating together and trying to convince us there's no operation
And
going
today
on.
proved it
It's
more too,
ridiculous.
right? They're all sick on the same day. That shows that we're clearly working together, right? They're clearly.
Exactly.
You thought Elizondo and Grush were different. Today showed that that's not true.
Game, set, match. It's fucking done. It's done, dude. The people who are denying it now are in denial themselves. This is
And Doty might as well. If Doty might as well have been sick too. He's in the same group with them. We learned. Let's go to some hands though. We'll go Kent and then Ocean Eyes and then Fleck.
Yeah, I just find all this fascinating. You know, we're busy here. We're all a bunch of nobodies in the UFO field, sitting here tearing down all the people. The fact of the matter is, we don't know who's telling the truth. We don't know if the video was dubbed. We don't know for sure, but we do know.
We do know it wasn't dubbed though.
Well, okay, but can you really?
Even Doty isn't claiming that it's dubbed now. He had to go and say like, yeah, he said that.
Well, okay, let me tell you this. Is there a job classification called disinformation agent? No, there isn't. You have operatives and then you don't. So that's just a lot of bullshit. No one hires a disinfo agent. They hire an operative to come and do operations. Some of those operations are disinformation. So saying someone is trying to hire me as a disinfo agent just sounds like a load of fucking bullshit to me.
Yeah, and just for the record, let's play it again. I haven't even played it this whole space.
I was offered a job in 2019 by the United States Space Force. I was offered a job in 2019 by the United States Space Force, where Lou Elizondo worked, to work with him in disinformation. And I said, not no, but hell no. I'll never do that again. Did Lou bend the knee? Worked for him. I don't know what he did. You'd have to ask Lou.
David Space Force. I don't know. Keep it a secret. Look what happened to poor Dave. You know, I worked with David Space Force. I don't know if that's public knowledge, but I'll say, what the hell? He and I were working the UAP topic for Space Force for a very good man, a senior guy, very senior guy, by the way. And this is
I that can't pronounce his name properly, yeah.
Maybe they were Havana. Ocean, what are your thoughts? Doty Pillis.
Yeah, no, you asked me earlier about what do I think about people listening to Spaces to everything. And I thought about it. I was thinking about it. And like, I'm sure that there's people doing different jobs, right? Like, I feel like you even noticed it during election time or like during COVID, certain people came out with narratives. So there's like people that just like do surveillance and like watch and like record stuff. And then there's people that come in and like try to share information in hopes to like, like persuade a public, right? Or like there's another word that they use. It's not manipulation, but it is what it is. Like I don't know, public influence, maybe, that type of stuff. And then there's people that come in just straight disrupting, right? And I think like we've seen all of that. So yeah, I think there's like lots of characters in the spaces. So I think that's why my hand was up. I don't remember. My dog's currently choking. I'm gonna go put him outside.
What do you think, Flack? And I'm probably yeah.
The terms
Go
they
for
use for that are moles, provocateurs, and dissipators. And the disclosure community online is full of dissipators.
It sucks that it's like it almost feels like bureaucracy or some shit to talk about it, but I want to know about this shit, bro. Community I'm in, I want to know who the fuck people are watching that are gonna, you know, what are they mining experiencers for? What are they like? What's the data point? Is it also what I heard that looking for people who saw the lady, they're obsessed with her? Why is there some weirdo cult obsessed with this like deity that's a fucking weirdo to people running around amok doing crazy shit?
Well, Science Bob was in a space earlier that Kent was involved with, and one of the things that Science Bob presented was how the military-industrial contractors are basically getting trillions of dollars worth of technology put on their lap with seed money to do research and development. So there's a lot of motives for what's going on in this community. It's
We need to make a
it's pretty
science
wild.
thing that could get some government money on this, bro. How do we do that, Tupa? How do we get government money? All right. Well, if anyone has any closing thoughts, I'll probably close it up soonish. But yeah, I thought it was an interesting weekend. Yeah, these two stories. Because one of them, I will just include the actual statement too, or maybe we'll make it three. The Grush SCIF briefing thing, they're all missing. Weird. Doty saying that Elizondo was offering him a job at Space Force and disinformation. Weird. And then the whole weirdo reaction around that, extremely weird. Crazy week.
Oh yeah, let me just pop
Is
in
any of
for 1 sec. Hello, can you hear me?
Go for it, Flack.
Sorry. All right, I just want to say this about Eric. So I found him looking for information about Antarctica, and just like every other rabbit hole I jumped down to, thinking it's going to be crazy and silly, Eric checks out, man. I've done a ton of independent research looking through but like this is all open source. I need to say that because if I'm able to find this shit through open source, it's absolutely insane. But I believe I found the DOMS fields you were talking about. I've found a ton of massive green lasers that are being used to, I'm not exactly sure they say it's for communication purposes, but even out of California. So Eric, man, you're dropping some facts as a whistleblower. I haven't found anything that you've wavered on that I'm even skeptical. So I just want to say that.
And sorry.
And Panda, I kind of lost my train of thought, but oh, you called Doty out on it immediately in the beginning when he first like popped in. I forgot exactly what it was, but he'd rather have Ocean in here speaking for him and sticking up for him than he'd rather pop in.
She's a cute girl, of
Well,
course.
yeah, but it's a lot easier to have somebody else fight your battles. You know what I mean? Like my thing is called Black Magnet because I enjoy all of it.
He hella love bombed them in their in that fake apology space.
Hey, now we're all on the same team, aren't we?
He's like,
that's my
and I could
point,
get you guys help
but we need
put
to
off
be
into
skeptical.
space, Ocean and Logan. Don't think about what I did. Don't think about what I did. I could get you help put off. I promise.
I think you keep like waving that around, but that's kind of a bit disingenuous, Red. I hope no one believes that when you say that. Like
What about help put off?
That's never been a thing that's like ever been considered.
Definitely said it in that space to you guys about getting help put off on.
You sure he said it? Because I mean, he told me that he couldn't get.
No,
help put off
he
when
said it,
asked.
and I don't know if anybody else noticed, but he mentioned it, and then also was like,
Interesting. I like your point there. But anyway, yeah, I think about Doty.
Did you drop him?
Yeah, he was just annoying me. Just
Bring
kept
him
like,
back up,
why interrupt me? I don't get the point.
Yeah, don't interrupt him, but I'll bring him back up. Continue, Logan.
But I mean, just considering what Doty's been through in his life and his career, right? He's like in his 70s, right? I mean, some kids talking smack about him online, he probably just isn't too concerned about, like, especially like when stuff is just like I don't know, just like not really all that valid to him, I guess, or whatever, right? But I mean,
What
I
do you
don't think
mean?
anyone ever considered that like you actually genuinely faked some AI stuff, right? I think we all like know you and look in your
I mean, he was
integrity,
concerned
right?
enough to make up a lie about that's like not normal behavior, bro. It
Yeah,
is
but Logan, can I just say this real
abnormal as
fast?
fuck.
Like,
I mean,
you have to understand what it means. Like, Doty suggesting this, Fessler insisting this, Heatherly saying it. This adds up to a target on Red's back and those UK
Like
TikTokers.
Doty put a hit on my back for some fake shit. Not like a hit. I'm not
Doty-
dying, but he
I don't
did.
believe there's any target on Red's back.
No, but
I don't see that.
it's not okay. Listen, target on the guys. Well, let's not be fucking extreme. We're talking about people just talking mad shit here. But it's a fact that Thomas Fessler knows that there's no AI in that video, but he's still saying it. The reason why he has gas to say it is because they convinced Doty to say it publicly in the first place. He was the Trojan horse to get that narrative into the public eye. There's a problem here. It needs to be addressed, and people need to name names because the UK TikTokers didn't fucking AI something, and neither did Red. But they're obviously, even to the hour, they're gonna continue to push that. Period.
And he wouldn't have walked it back if he wasn't
No,
listening to us
he
say
would've
all the
absolutely-
different pieces of
absolutely.
evidence.
TikTok.
He wouldn't have walked it
He
back.
apologized already,
And
right?
Logan, what about next time? What if it's you? And what if it's
I
that
didn't
Logan
say
has
he
CP on his
apologized already,
computer?
though,
Like I'm
bro.
just saying, like why like being around someone that could just do that on the flip of a dime,
No,
get all
hold-
manic and weird.
But
It's
wait
like
a second.
weird to me.
But Red, like, what do you think about my idea or the possibility that he was just like, that Fessler, Heatherly, these guys do that. I mean, it looks like he was like Doty was just told bunk information that was meant to gas him up and was shown shit that was meant to.
He
gas
did
him
just
up.
block me right now.
Look, man, I'm telling you, like the idea that like the fact that Doty said it, all that is that he's like I said, he's a Trojan horse. They needed someone to come out and say it, and now that he did, now they can continue on. Thomas Fessler knows for a fact that Doty wasn't AI'd, that he said that. But he's still going off and going, no, you can tell Doty's face doesn't look like that. Fessler is now running disinfo.
My
Yeah.
heroes.
Fessler's kind of strange, isn't he?
Let's go to Jeremy has their hand up, and then we got Doctor something came up, and then Nick's. What's up, Jeremy?
Hey, I appreciate you letting me talk. Just real quick, he was talking about like the SCIF and Doty and all this. To me, it just feels like people all playing the same semblance of the same game, just in different ways. That's what it feels like, you know. But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you too, but you guys are like really in the weeds. Like I'm pretty in the weeds of the subject.
We're
know.
too in the weeds. Pray that we
Right.
get out of the weeds, please.
Right. Well, that kind of goes to my question is like, what keeps you guys going in this? Because, and that sounds like a really simple question. We're all in here because we want to
Yeah,
know.
do you guys
But it's
jerk
like-
off like the rest of us?
But
well, yeah,
like even for someone like me that's not in the weeds as much as you guys, it's like this shit is so frustrating. It's just tail chasing constantly. It's rabbit hole after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. So
Yeah, for me, I think it's this
But
weirdo
it's like you guys.
desire, to once I really pondered my own mortality, I like fucking it shook me up a little bit. And I think it scratches on that itch of just like understanding what we are. And it's this kind of like mystery, and it's like this kind of tangible thing that like could maybe shed some more light on us. And yeah, like if you go look at my channel, like some of my other documentaries, like 3-hour documentary fully edited about like the 1960s, like UFO shit. I just want to learn about like what these fucking things are, right? Because I feel like it could tell us about like our history, our future,
And I
you know what
totally get that, but
the
it's
state
like,
of reality. And I feel like that's always just gonna like exist for me. You know what I mean? And this just happens to be like the main group kind of doing it like in America, right? And you know what I mean? I mean, like literally, like what did Matthew Brown just say? Like there is a God, the Matrix is real. Like this shit is, for better or worse, like I think all gonna touch on that. And I want to know if it's some fucking Scientologist framing it for me, or like what the fuck's going on here with these things. Yeah, that's my take. I don't know, Tupa, you got to answer that. What keeps you going? Tupa, of all people, yeah, you should. If I was you, I think a lot of people would have been like, I'm done with this shit. Like a lot of people have when they brush up against these weirdos. But what keeps you going, Tupa? The grift,
hatred, weed. You know what I mean? I really enjoy, and I've always enjoyed this stuff. I might have gotten burnt out on it, to be frank, if I was not opposed at all, and I was already, you know what I mean, gonna go do some corporate shit. You know, I was fine with that. Like, you know, but when it came down to it, people trying to silence me and create like this narrative about me that wasn't real, that just, you know, no. And then to find out that this is always going on, no. So like, you know, there's a lot of interest I still have in the topic, and I still post and always will post about the UFOs. I mean, that's the whole idea. I love them. I love the concept. I love everything. I like the different layers, the different dimensions, and I don't really think that it's even been explored halfway yet, like even close to it. Even on like YouTube and investigations and shit, especially in entertainment, right? And so I've always found pockets of things that keep me interested and keep me going. And if there's like creative ore to mine, then I'll mine it. And this stuff just really, it pumps me up. And like I shared like the Doty video and other things like I've done with friends of
It
mine
is
who
funny
aren't
that that
really
happened the
interested
day
in
that
it.
happened.
That is crazy. But I shared a lot of this stuff, and one of the things that people said to me like that really stuck was like, "Oh, you do this. You just kind of like love what you do." And yeah, I'm not getting paid to do this stuff. I just love to do it. I like making this, having an effect on culture. I have a lot of respect for UFO research and for the people who've been in it since the 90s. And they're like, like there's just a lot of stuff here. And it's really fucked up to see that the culture's been stunted by these weird nerds, you know what I mean? Who couldn't rally a food fight if they threw everything they had on their plate. Like there's just a lot of issues here. And so, as long as there's as long as there's stuff to do, there's work to do, then I'll probably be doing it. But we'll see.
Great answers. I appreciate it. Thanks. You guys do great work.
What about you?
Dude, I'm 42. I've been into this since I was a kid. It's real simple. It's just a fascination of like what's out there,
You ever see anything?
I've seen two things actually. I can explain. I saw something in '96. I live in Missouri, so I saw something in '96. It was a summer day. It was a diamond-shaped metallic craft mat, but you could see the gleam off of it. I don't know what it was. I'm not saying it was anything, but it was something I can't explain, and the way it maneuvered and stuff, and it was really weird. So
Yeah, I never seen anything. Yeah, I wonder if that. I feel like for like that also drives them who like stick around through all the bullshit.
But it's like, I ask those questions because, like I said, for someone that's not in the weeds, it's just like sometimes this shit is just so frustrating. I feel like we've swayed so far to a side that's like it's all about like bureaucracy and these whistleblowers.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's so bureaucratic now. It's like, ugh. And it's like, it's crazy. And we just had the biggest fucking, in my opinion, UFO flap ever with the Jersey shit. Like we literally just had one of the craziest fucking things ever, and we're always talking about this dumbass bureaucracy and these like, I'm late, I'm sick for a SCIF meeting. Doty's accusing me of fucking a crime, like, but no one was really trying to even talk about the fucking drones.
A crime really though.
I'm gonna be as dramatic as I possibly can with this shit, bro. I'm already gonna hire out Tuba for like a fucking 6-part AI miniseries about this shit with Doty as Michael Cera.
It's funny being an older person. It's like I remember back in the day, this stuff used to be a lot more simple, and I just miss those times, man. like the documentary, the hazy documentary. Yeah, you have to learn that like that guy on your TV is a fucking weirdo online and doing all this weirdo creepy shit. Like when Robert Stack on Unsolved Mysteries would come on and talk about like perfect. That's all I need, man.
Well, I got some news for you. We can make that dream come true.
Yeah, I'll probably close this up, but I might want to do another space later about that Gulf Breeze 6 and get Tupa's take on it too. That shit like that's pretty fascinating too. Although that is kind of maybe a little bit of a mix of that. I don't know, Tupa. Any closing thoughts on this Doty saga? I'm definitely probably going to be beating this horse a little bit more. But
I think the horse to beat is the raw nerve that Doty exposed, and I think
yes, the Elizondo. I retweet it every day.
I'm very grateful that he said that, and I think that needs to be something that needs to be brought up more. The fact that he was convinced that it was an AI and tried to go after the people who did it sounds to me like he was wrapped up in something he didn't really understand at the time. And someone who's 70 might not know what the fuck AI, the word AI might be a very big brush, right? And they might not really know exactly what is going on. And what we have for a fact is that Heatherly and Fessler both know that it's not AI, but they are continuing to gas up their supporters, their community, into believing it is. That is super fucking suspect. I say hammer on that because they got the tweets to prove it. Like, you know what I mean? If you can figure out if Doty will say who gave him the fucking info, that'd be really great. But other than that, man, I think just keep hammering on that raw nerve.
Yeah, and again, I'm kind of happy it all went down. Obviously, I enjoy Rick Doty's company, and even it's just kind of like I know what you are. And honestly, Doty, you should know what the fuck I am, bro. I'm about UFO truth. Of course, I'm gonna fucking highlight this weirdo shit. And like, he thought it's funny. He thought this weirdo psycho reaction would like make it go away, but it's like it just makes you want to look at it more. But
I
yeah,
really
you know, you're
don't
gonna do
think
what
he
you're
was
gonna
out
do.
to get you. Like, I think like he did block a
No, I
bunch
think
of
yeah, I
people,
don't think so
and
either.
I
I
think
think I
we
was
all
just a
got to be on the
bystander,
same
but he
team,
was happy to
right?
have
Like
like the
nobody is
bystander thing.
perfect, and everybody lies at some point in their life, and you know we all have our own lives to live. But like I think for the most part, we're all on the same team. I really do believe that.
Well, another thing to
Anyway.
consider, Red, is that this is a corporate thing. It might not even be a government thing, a private corporate business thing. And he could be looking at the jobs of other people, trying to like help them. They could have been like, "Oh, it's all gonna fucking be fucked up because of you, man. Chris Mellon's not gonna invite you to the cookout or whatever." Like, you know.
But again, and I'm not trying to just talk about it, but just take note that like there's that, and there's that with the action, and there's that with the action that actively lies and throws other people under the bus, right? You know, like it's the way the world works, I guess. But that's the way Doty works. We found out.
But
What's
let's
up?
I don't. We shouldn't have this space turn into like another example of like how like the UFO community cannibalized its own, right? I mean, I know your integrity matters to you, and that's why you're here. I mean, I respect the hell out of that. But we should put like the spotlight back on the information, like Tupa said, not on each other.
Well,
And if
no, I
someone is out
agree,
there
but
like
Doty's
running
part of that whole
psyops,
thing,
they're
though,
kind of
and
laughing at us right
Doty's
now,
part
right?
of the reason that shows like, look how important that information was. Take note of that info, and like Tupa says, and I hate to fucking say it myself, but you know, is that the same job that Lou offered Grush, right? The one that
It's for sure
Doty
the same job.
described.
It's for sure the same
And
job.
did he take that job?
Yeah.
You know, is Grush the Doty that takes the job?
What,
you know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question, Red. What other job could Grush have been doing there? What other job? What's his other?
Well, especially with the caveat working with Lou, as Lou says, on like
Mhm.
every chance he gets a microphone.
Yeah. What's his other job? Can anyone guess? Just throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. What could Grush have been doing with Elizondo if not for that?
Real estate.
Maybe some kind of science thing. I don't know. Maybe calibrating science on the space force.
Yep.
Got him a good deal, like on
The
Doomsday
plasma
Bunker.
thrusters and shit, dude. It's like, I think, you know, and I hate to, you know, these are assumptions that we're making, but I think they're the safest ones to make in lieu of real information, no pun intended. And so we need to get that information. But again, what it's looking like now, dude, is that this is my opinion, the culprits and proven culprits here are the Disclosure Tonight guys, and I think that their recent tweet tonight it illustrates that perfectly. And also, Sictanic posted something today that was like, imagine everything you put out has to be AI made. How pathetic. So I think these guys are creating this narrative that, like, you know, they're trying to create a substantiation like for this claim that it was all AI, but that's not gonna work. I just really can't believe, dude, that Fessler recently was out here trying to say that he's like, oh, I've never seen Doty's face look like that. Because
He has me blocked. But
dude, you know that he knows it's not AI.
yeah, what do you got, Kent? Before I close out here.
I just think that we need some laws put in place where people can't copy people and make fake videos of them. Why are we in a situation where anyone with the right tools can come along and make an AI video of you doing a manifesto, and there's nothing you can do about it? I think it's diabolical.
Yeah, man, me too, man.
All right. Well, maybe Logan's
Can
going
I
to do it
just
after.
quickly
Oh,
jump
Nix,
in? Is
yeah,
that
go for
okay?
it. Sorry, yeah, my bad. And if anyone
No,
else didn't
that's
speak, you
okay.
want to go for it? Yeah.
I'm really nervous. I have never spoken up in one of these before, but I just really wanted to jump on the opportunity to thank Mr. Hecker. Thank you so very much for opening up and telling us about the Antarctica and the atmospheric research laboratory and the earthquake generator. And it's made me think many times since learning about all of this when we hear about targeted earthquakes like we've just recently experienced here in the Hunter Valley in New South Wales, Australia. So thanks for being so courageous. I appreciate you. We all do. I know I speak for everyone here. Thank you.
Also, I unblocked you, Nix. Just so you know, I block a lot of people for no reason, so don't take it personally. But
Oh,
I
dude,
unblocked
I
you
had
now
no
that I know you're
idea.
real. Now that I know you're a real person, I'll unblock you now. We're cool.
Oh, thank you so very much. Okay.
And Nix, I don't know if he's
Thank
there or
you.
not, but if he's still here, feel free to, like, if you want to ask him a question or anything about like that, like what he actually, the specifics or anything, if by all means,
Oh,
go for
look,
it.
I
If,
have a million questions about it. You know, I've done so much
he's pretty
research
approachable too. I'm
since.
sure if you DM him or something, he'd be more than happy to. I mean, like he's in spaces with us all the time, shooting the shit.
I mean, I just have so many questions, but thank you so very much. I just wanted to give you a verbal appreciation. Thank you.
Hell yeah. All right, Kent.
Yeah, just to Eric's point, you know, Eric's worked in Antarctica and I've applied to work there for an American contractor. And it was the first application of it, no matter where I've worked, and I've worked in some of the weirdest countries in the world. I've never had to answer the questions such as, do you have or have you ever had a TS, CSI, you know, clearance or equivalent? So, you know, I've got to ask a question, you know, and Eric knows better than me. He's actually worked there, but Antarctica is supposed to be a military-free zone. It's supposed to be a completely blank slate. No country owns it. No country is supposed to rule it. And yet, when you go to apply for an American contractor working in Antarctica, in the same field as Eric was working in, health, safety, and security, they're asking you if you've had TS, CSI clearances. And it was actually, and I've been to a lot of, I've worked for a lot of companies in my time. It was the most complex and difficult application I've ever filled in my life. So, you know, I have to ask myself the question, if there's nothing going on down there, and if all this stuff that we're hearing about, you know, bases and underground bases and giant holes open up when they do tests, if that's all not true, why are they so particular about the people that they allow to go there? You know, there's got to be something to it.
Kent, do you remember meeting me at Contact in the desert last year?
Of course I do, mate. Yeah, no, I had some great times sitting and chatting with you. I really enjoyed it, mate. I like you.
And after all of those conversations, you still harbor those questions?
No, I'm talking for the audience, mate. I know this. I mean, mate, I did the application for Amentum to go down and work there. I don't know
I
if
think he
you
was
were.
being like, what's the word? Facetious?
No, I'm not being facetious. These are
You're
the
saying
questions.
like, why was your interview so intensive if there's nothing down there? You're saying there's clearly something down there because your interview was
Oh
intensive,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
for sure. I was trying to back Eric up. That Eric's saying that there's
Well,
directed them down there.
I don't want to have to be agreeable on the hiring process. It was a very simple process on my end. I didn't find it that challenging. But with that being said, my testimony to my experience certainly has proven that there is questionable activity worthy of further discussion.
Yeah. Eric, what do you think about UFOs broad topic? Like, what do you think if you had to like put as much, what are they? Is it all US tech? Is it interdimensional?
Oh, the vast majority of it is high technology, not just US, but many factions hold it. And this is why we have the military industrial complex investing so much money into the disclosure forums from our country and other countries, because they're trying to control the narrative because they have so much liability from decades of nefarious activities monopolizing technologies. All we're seeing right now is these military the industrial complex corporation factions getting involved with things like Arrow. The whole Arrow thing is a farce. I mean, how long is it going to take everybody to realize it's a farce? I'm one of the whistleblowers that testified in Arrow. I'm stating it's a farce. They lied about the testimony I gave them. So this is all a massive circus. There's all kinds of players, from factions in our country, from factions in other countries. There's a lot of money on the table and a lot of liability also. So until such time people can be cognizant of the fact that there's a big circus going on, and if they're going to keep presuming that all of these players are legitimate and they might have just made a simple mistake. I'm a retired COINTELPRO operative, and I just simply don't know exactly what I'm doing. I mean, this is ridiculous at this point.
Yeah. All right, then I guess with that,
Whistleblower to say that, by the way. There's been other whistleblowers that have said Arrow lied about what they had to say about whatever, you know.
honestly, I feel like I hear more they lied than they did. Has anyone been like Arrow? Who can we say that was like Arrow's great?
Chris.
Lou Elizondo, Jake Barber, those folk, Matt Brown, Jason Sands, you know, the operators that are operating that don't want you to believe there's an operation going on.
Sheep, are you there, bro? Are you fall asleep?
No, I'm in the mix.
Okay, my closing question is to you. What's the next move for these people who all called in sick today on the same day, the day of the SCIF that they've been hyping up for 5 years?
They're gonna say that they're being attacked.
Because like let's say let's say Luna gets another one together next week. Like, are they gonna do it? Right? Like they've been wanting it. They keep.
No, they're gonna
You
say
know what I mean? I
they're
don't
gonna
get.
say that they're going into hiding because they're being attacked and their lives are in danger.
100% agree with that. That was what I thought as well.
If they do that, that would be crazy. But honestly, I'm not saying it's outside the realm of possibility because I don't believe this current thing. And it's quite the thing to lie to a congresswoman about. Like, that's like an offense, bro. Like, and she doesn't believe him. It sounds like with the whole, like, they got SCIF flu thing. Like, isn't that crazy, right? To lie to or maybe they are sick.
Well,
Maybe
let's go over the recent coincidences because there's another set, right? So they all got sick with different things. They can't go to the same thing. Okay. And then Lou, Gary Nolan, and Matt Ford all left the UAPDF for separate reasons on the same day. Right.
Sarah with their hand up. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's up, man? So I got a question. If they give these guys one more shot to get into a SCIF and they all cancel, is it safe to say they're bullshitting, or are they afraid because now it's time to put up or shut up, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels like they don't got shit is the vibe I get, but I don't even know. Did Lou even say anything about it? Like, have they even addressed this shit?
Dude, it doesn't matter like what they have to say at this point. Like it all fucking was on the SCIF, wasn't it? They should have, whether they're sick or not, should have turned up.
Doesn't it prove they don't have shit? Like,
yeah.
Previously, they said they couldn't go into the SCIFs because they didn't have the right security clearances. I know that's a bunch of baloney because I'm a plumber. I have 0 security clearances. I went into 2 separate SCIFs and testified in good faith. And so what they're basically getting at is that they don't have the security clearances to talk about everything. That's okay. Enter the SCIF. And if they ask you questions you can't answer, you simply say, I can't answer that. But then we, the people, would at least know what they know about that they can't talk about, which is what they don't want everybody to know.
I feel like if Eric Davis can get in a SCIF, these guys can get in a SCIF.
I got in a SCIF. What's their holdup? I mean, seriously, put yourself in my shoes. What's the holdup? What's taking them so long? I did it.
Are they in fear of something that we don't know about? Yeah.
I think it's the FBI that's what's stopping them. If you look at Paulina's comments that she made about Arrow not being sort of the people to handle UAP, well, then you would suggest that coming fresh out of the FBI head office with those meetings, then you'd think that the FBI are the people who are I guess in the way of or delaying, because there's also, according to Politico, some of the FBI officers are first-hand witnesses and they've got their own UAP team. So they're probably saying, well, you guys have got to stand in. We'll take over the issue from here. That's what you would imagine the power play that's going on at the moment.
And real quick, since we're bouncing back and forth, and I'll play this to close out, I actually will. This is the guy who told us that they're monitoring the shit today and that is willing to lie and shit. Oh shit, where is it at? I just thought this would be cool to play from a documentary I made a few years ago. But damn it, oh here we go.
Bill's infamy comes from his willingness to cooperate with intelligence agencies in disseminating known UFO disinformation. Bill Moore came to prominence in the UFO scene by being the first to release a book about Roswell with the release of the Roswell Incident in 1980. According to Moore, this put him on the radar of intelligence agencies. He claims that officials from these agencies offered to share information with him in exchange for cooperation monitoring the UFO community. Moore claims he knew this was a sketch deal, but figured the access he was getting would be valuable to a degree in understanding the UFO cover-up. He felt he could deduce fact from fiction in what the Air Force officers were telling him. Moore was eventually hired by a group of intelligence agents to keep tabs on a UFO researcher named Paul Benowitz, who had been filming experimental aircraft at Curlin Air Force Base in New Mexico. The Air Force ran a psychological profile and disinformation campaign on the unsuspecting physicist, and in return, Air Force intelligence would let Moore in on classified UFO material. This relationship would be exposed at the 1989 MUFON conference in Las Vegas. In what would be one of the most dramatic things to happen at a UFO conference, Bill Moore would announce his role in the disinformation campaign, and the audience was not happy to learn that one of the most prominent UFO researchers was a disinformation agent.
Of my knowledge, it was all disinformation, and I was the unfortunate one who had unwittingly supplied the fuel to those who were spreading the fire. I've held my silence on this matter for more than 6 years. Now you know the truth. Disinformation. Am I currently involved with providing information to any government agency about UFOs or about people involved with the UFO phenomenon? Answer, no. I have not had any such involvement since 1984.
Giving info about UFOs or people involved in things. It's just crazy to me that like Doty's offering that to people in 1980, and then we hear him today like he's got a group doing this shit, and at times will lie about people.
Does anybody think they won't do this again? I mean,
no, I think they're
seriously.
still doing it. I feel like Doty just told us in the space the other day that they're still doing it. We got a group of intel people watching at all times, every space.
Exactly.
It never ends. It will always happen until we get the truth. This is just what we have to live with as a community, unfortunately.
Everybody should study the term COINTELPRO. Seriously, COINTELPRO.
All right, guys. With that, I'm going to close it. Logan, are you going to do after space or something? Are you up all night?
But let me ask you this: did you ever hit up Doty privately, just to, in DMs, be like, "Dude, why did you like say this thing about me?" Like, and try to like sort all that out with him, like just privately?
No, I was blocked.
You weren't always blocked, right? Just until just recently, right?
Well, he blocked me first with the UK TikTokers, and then like right before his space, right before his space, he unblocked me, and I could have messaged him, I guess, yesterday, but now I'm blocked again.
Yeah, but I mean, I would feel like
he was here. I invited him to come up and speak. You know what I mean? Like, oh. I'm all about like open policy, like not backdoor shit, right? Like you could say whatever you want to say to me in front of everyone. Like, why not, right? What could he possibly? And then if it becomes a situation where it's something like I can't say publicly, like that's manipulation. I don't want to be in that boat with Doty, especially after he just fucking lied to me.
Right, but when me and Eric said like what Eric said about like why he had to like backtrack what he said, like I would have just thought that maybe you might private message him and be like, "Oh, Eric said this, and I can understand if like this or this happened," or I don't know, just try to just communicate with him in some way, right?
Yeah, I just think it's important that people know that the way information flows around here, and that these guys are all on the same team, and that they're monitoring shit, and that they reacted this way to that piece of information about Lou and Space Force and disinfo and the Grush connection that Tupa made. I'm a nerd for this shit, bro. The information flow and all that bullshit. So sorry, autistic about it. I guess with that, maybe Logan, will you do after space? I don't know what your plans are. Maybe Melo's doing space.
Sure.
Go to Melo's if you don't. If Logan doesn't, God bless.